I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Live from the Xfinity remote studio. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday, buddy.
We made it.
Barely.
Yeah. You barely made it.
I don't think I have. I have some sort of bug that I got home yesterday, and this thing just buried me. All of a sudden, I started to feel the chills. I was freezing, and then I was burning up. I was like, it was bizarre. And then it was like, it came out of nowhere. I wasn't feeling anything. Like I
was with you like an hour earlier in the car. I thought you were fine.
I thought I was fine. Maybe it was a little run down, but then all of a sudden it hit like a block of granite,
Hit like an Albanian flu.
I got the Albanian. I hang out with the Albanians. I got the Albanian flu. Oh my God. So forgive me today if I'm not all there with it today. You said something to start. Morning, Jake. You said something to start. You would rather skip the Phillies game and watch the World Cup. Like today's a big day because it's Team USA, the
Huge
whole
day.
thing.
Yeah.
We have Brazil here in Philadelphia at Philadelphia Stadium.
They've arrived.
So,
I was walking back to the bar last night, and my neighbor's a Brazilian. He was rolling down with his friends. They're open container, walking down the street, going to the bar at 10 o'clock at night. They're getting ready to party up last night. The Brazilians are here.
The scene at the art museum.
Crazy.
Wow. That was unbelievable.
They got the guys guarding Rocky with signs up like, don't touch Rocky.
I love that. I love that whole thing. It's so great. They're
super. Did you see the video where, like, before they left the Brazilian, they had like water cannons spraying holy water over their plane?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, dude, giant water cannons of blessed water over the Brazilian plane.
Are you serious? Oh,
yeah,
I love it. Oh, that's great. I didn't see that. That's fantastic. They're fun. They're a fun group, the Brazilians.
Yes.
They're a fun group. That's funny. Rowdy. And I guess there is a little pocket in the Northeast of Brazilians.
Oh, there's a great steakhouse up there. Picanu, I think it's called Picanu. Yeah. Brazilian steakhouse up there, like in Castor Avenue. Yeah.
But it's just like authentic. It's like real. It's like a real pocket of Brazilians.
It's because you got that Fogo de Chao down here. But the Picano is like an OG, old.
Yeah, like a real deal. That came in vogue. The Brazilian steakhouse came in vogue. I never ate at one.
No? Oh,
no. And I would love it because it's just never-ending meat.
You get the coin. It's like a little thing, red or green. Keep it on red. They just keep piling meat on your plate. If you need a break, you flip it over to red. They pass by you.
Oh, really?
It's just... Yeah, they come out with these big, like gauchos come out with these big, they carve the meat right there or big piles of meat. They just keep putting it on your plate.
What kind of, it's like heaven for you. Steak? Like beef?
Oh, yeah. All different cuts of steaks. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
you would love it. You and Baldwin would love it.
Yeah, that sounds outrageous. I never went. I got to go just for that. I think I need it. I think I need some meat.
You're the guy. You fell below the quota of meat intake this week, and you're off your game. You're not feeling well.
I didn't eat enough. I didn't eat enough meat. What happened? I subscribe to the Baldy theory of medicine. The best is just like babies get sick.
Right.
Get sick.
You big baby.
Oh my God. Phillies go down last night.
Yeah. Like as you were saying, I go to 30 games a year. I'm kind of disinterested right now. I skipped. I had tickets last night, like half hour before the game. I was like, I'm not going. I'm loading up on some wagers on Canada. I'm going to go sit at the pub, air conditioning, drink reasonably priced beers, and hang out. I'll watch Aaron Nola and the mediocre bullpen and the bats that's mediocre.
Alvarado's terrible.
Cooked, dude. Without the juice, he's cooked.
He's done. He stinks. Yeah. The thing is, Nola actually pitched well last night.
In a good game. I mean, the wind screwed him up. I mean, he gave you what you want out of Aaron Nola. I mean, that's what he's going to do.
You give me that every start, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah, he gave you. It's just Tanner Banks is in AAA. I can't believe how bad this bullpen is because we all thought this was a strength. We were like, oh, this is one of the best bullpens. Padres, Phillies. Here we go.
That's the problem with bullpens. Like, you can't – they're like kickers from year to year.
They are. It's fascinating.
They're like kickers. They're
no
like
consistency.
No. Sometimes they're, unless they're great, Keller. What happened to Keller?
Right. Well, he had last year was kind of like the blip, right? Wasn't he average and then had a great year last year?
Yeah.
Maybe he goes back down to earth. I don't know.
Well, it just goes to show you about Dombrowski and how bad of a job he's done.
Dude, I'm frustrated. There's a clip going around. He's done a terrible job, and I'm just frustrated. They asked him, would they consider going after a first baseman? Maybe it's easier to get a first base bat and go to Bryce. He's like, nah, we're not having that conversation with Bryce or anything. Bryce should be having that conversation. Be like, Dombo, we need bats. If you need me to play the outfield, I'll play the outfield. I'll do whatever you need. You get us a bat, I'm good to go. The fact that they're not even talking to Bryce about it is weird to me and it's frustrating.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
I don't understand it. He's not really a good defensive first baseman. So, I mean, what's the difference?
He's good. I heard people talking about that. No, he's a good first baseman, but it doesn't matter. So, like, defense at first base is like a supermodel who can cook.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. Like, it's just, it's all right. It doesn't mean anything. It's just whatever. You gotta have bats. I just don't know what they're going to do. I felt bad. Somebody said, hit me up and says, he's going to lay off of Crawford. And I don't mean to take shots at Crawford. The problem with Crawford is he's just, if this was a team that had power and he was batting ninth, hey, great. I love it. But you got a team that has no power and he's another left-handed hitter. So, it doesn't do anything for you. And I get frustrated by outfielders who can't hit for power.
Oh, you hate them. You've hated them since I've met you. You hate tiny outfielders with no power. Yes.
Always hated them. Always.
You used to call them a vegetable or something, I thought, at some point. Or a piece of fruit. I forget what you used to call them.
I forget what I called them, but
because Charlie's got you calling them leprechauns now, but there was something you called them before the leprechaun.
Yeah, he was those little guys. Everything got a bunch of leprechauns. Like when he was talking about Ben Revere, like I never understood why people like a slap hitter.
Well, if you play good defense and you're a slap hitter, I mean, I don't know. Pete Rose kind of a slap hitter. No, the guy just gets on base.
Well, he's the all-time hit leader.
Yeah, but he was a receiver with no power.
All right. Well, no. I mean, he would hit, 15 home. I'm sure he had years where he hit like 15 home runs, but whatever. The point is that if he's Luis Ariz, right? Like,
yes.
But if the slap hitters Ariz, then all right. But you're messing with Pete Rose. Pete Rose was. And he would hit, and he would also hit line drives.
He would hit line drives. So I'll give you that for Pete Rose, yes.
Like, he wasn't a slap hitter. He wasn't like stick my bat out like Ben Revere. That wasn't him.
I mean, I'm looking at his home run totals. Well, later on, he got a little power. All right, early on, 2 home runs, 0 home runs, 1 home run. Oh, no, with the Phillies, 83, 0 home runs.
Well, that was at the end. He played
81 home run.
That was at the end of his career, 83.
Yeah. So from 72 on, he only had double-digit home runs once. But, yeah, he had 15 early on. His first 8 years, he had like 15 home runs.
Yeah, I mean, but the bottom line is he was a line drive guy. Like, he was, that's who he was. But, again, and by the way, he's the all-time hit leader.
No, I
You know
guess
what I mean?
Crawford's not going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm checking Twitter.
Listen,
The
it's not like
Mets
I don't
broadcast
wanna,
are putting up Crawford's one at bat. He's swinging out of his shoes. They're making fun of his at bat. I mean, no one did that to Pete Rose.
no. Listen, I don't mean to pick one. I don't want the kid. I don't
He's a
want to.
rook.
He's a rook, right?
Yeah.
And I hope the kid does well. I mean, I like the kid. Whatever. But my only point is, I'm just frustrated by by these dudes like this outfield. It's thank God Marsh is having the year he's having.
Which
It's
is
unbelievable.
It's ridiculous the year he's having. But if he was having a normal Marsh year, easily the worst outfield in baseball.
Oh my
They
God!
might be the worst outfield in baseball right now with Marsh
Right.
hitting
Right.
300.
I mean, but it says something, and I think a lot of people are in your boat where they just don't want. They're bored. I said this to Mike. Krasielski's going to join us today. I said this to Mike. Remember, a friend of mine said that. I brought it up on the show. He was like, this dude I know. We were just talking about from baseball, and he goes, I'm kind of bored with them.
Yeah, I think.
And
I'm
it
at
sounds
that
like
point.
you are too.
Well, if they're the only game in town, sure. Well, once the World Cup's here, hey, I got a shiny apple over here. I'm going to hang out with the World Cup for a little bit. You guys keep doing what you do. You're an okay team. You beat up the bad teams. You beat some good teams. You got no bats. The lineup's screwed up. The bullpen's screwed up. And we don't even have a fifth starter at this point anymore. I mean, what are we doing? This was a team that this was like all arms. We don't even have a fifth starter. They don't even know who to bring up. Like, come on, man. Like, they don't have a fifth starter right now.
I know. Here's what scares me is that I don't know how you're going to fix them. And we're going to go into a lockout situation with an old team and not knowing when we're going to play.
They're going to get a year older sitting around.
Right. That's my fear. Because there's nothing like Red October. Like, there's nothing like
No, and there's going to be a Red October. They're a wild card team, but I don't know. Can they beat the Brewers, the Dodgers, the Braves? Not right now.
Yeah. All right. I want to do something before we get, because with Mike, we do our 4 for 4. We're going to go through all 4 for 4, excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. When I cough, my whole head just
I hate that, dude. I totally know where you're at. That's
man, I'm like sweating right now. It's terrible.
Well, sweating
I don't know
good? Sweating is when the fever's breaking, right?
I don't know, dude.
I feel like chills are when you're getting the fever, when the fever's going up.
I chills yesterday, and I'm sweating like right now. I'm hot. I don't know.
Like Aaron Nola on August.
Yes, I don't know. You did something, and I want to get to this because I think it's fun. You did something with the chat where you did
the chat
the work.
started. I just finished it off with the chat started, threw out some names yesterday.
All right, lay it out for us because I want to go down this path on a Friday.
All right. So we're doing while you, Pat, and Nagani were going over the best 26 Eagles. The chat was throwing out the worst 26 Eagles of the last 26 years. So I put together a list. I got mostly what they got. I added some, and I'll start from the bottom. See if you disagree with any of these. 26, DeMarco Murray.
Wow, he was horrible. He was such a bad fit.
Bad fit. I mean, he wasn't horrible, but just not the right fit, not the right player for this team or this city.
No. Well, he was a stretch back.
Right.
Stretch running backs. He was a stretch running back. And this is where I never understood Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly was supposed to be a football man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your offense was a jump cut offense. You needed a jump cut running back. Shady was the ultimate jump cut back. But you get rid of Shady for a stretch back? That makes no sense to me.
No sense. 25. We all had high hopes for this guy. He showed a flash here there. Quez Watkins. What a dud.
Yeah. Yeah, he was fast, but he never did anything.
No hands. 24, Marvin McNutt.
Marvin McNutt.
I don't
Virginia.
even know if he ever played a game. Yeah, Rich
How did
McNamee.
McNutt? Because of his name?
Yeah, he was wasn't he like a 4th-round draft pick? He just stunk.
The McNutt.
Sticking with the Irish MCs here. Matt McCoy.
Oh, Matt McCoy was terrible.
2nd-round linebacker?
Yeah.
Terrible.
He was awful.
Number 22, your boy Nate Geary.
Nate Geary. Wow, that's great. The chat came up with this?
Half these names. They had Geary yesterday, yeah.
That's impressive.
21, Donnell Pumphrey.
Donnell Pumphrey. Wow.
Number 20.
This is a good list.
I'll say number 20. I'll say one word. You tell me who it is. Sconces.
Oh, the defensive back. Oh, my God.
Carrie Williams.
Harry Williams. Wow. Sconces. Wow.
Another one of your list. Number 19, Dahani Jones.
Dude, my least favorite Eagle ever.
You say that now, but I think we got someone in the top 5.
No, he stole my. You remember that story, right? I told you.
Which one? Oh, he stole your show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I came up with this idea to do a sports travel show in early 2000s. Like I go around and it was going to be like sports and culture. And they loved it. I went through 3 levels of executives for the Travel Channel.
So you're feeling good. Executives are saying, all right, we're digging it.
Yeah.
We're digging it.
And then the last guy, no. And then they decided they wanted a celebrity. So they took a football player and they took Dahani Jones, who was a drip.
Brutal. That's a kick in the junk.
Yeah, he was a drip.
Yeah. Number 18, fan favorite, Jason Babin.
Oh, the Babin. Wide nine, buddy.
Yeah. Number 17, Brian Dawkins' replacement, Macho Harris.
Macho Harris. It's a great name. Macho Harris.
Andre Dillard.
Dillard was an offensive tackle from USC, and he was terrible. Right?
Horrible. I don't know if he was from USC. 15 comes in Jerome McDougal. We're getting to the studs now.
McDougal.
Number 14, Demetrius Bell.
Demetrius Bell. I don't even remember him.
Offensive lineman.
Nah.
Demetrius Bell?
Nah. What year?
Let me see what year he came in.
Nah.
Yeah, dude. Let me
start.
On April 4th, 2012, the Eagles signed Bell to a contract that could be worth up to $34 million over 5 years.
Wow.
He played 9 games, 5 starts, suffered a few injuries, and then disappeared. They released him next year.
Wow. What was the contract?
5 years, up to $34.5 million.
Oh my God!
I guess with some kickers.
Yeah.
Number 13, Stacey Andrews.
Do you remember Andy? This is Stacey Andrews' day.
I don't remember that. Did he say that?
Yeah. So at the same time, this is when they got rid of Dawkins,
right?
And people were freaking out, and they, the press is just peppering them about Dawkins, and he's like, "This is Stacey Andrews' day. We're here just to talk Stacey Andrews."
Oh man,
yeah.
Number 12, Mark Sanchez.
Oh, the Sanchez.
Number 11, Byron Maxwell.
Yeah, he was a bust.
Number 10, Bradley Fletcher.
Bradley Fletcher. Rams? Did he come over from the Rams?
I don't know where this dude came from.
Bradley Fletcher. Wow.
Number 9, Mike McMahon, quarterback.
Yeah, he was with the Lions. Rutgers.
Yes.
He went to Rutgers.
Yes, he's a Rutgers kid. Number 8, Arcega Whiteside.
Oh, JJ. That's a great one. You remember the JJ? People used to we used to go nuts over JJ.
Number 7, Winston Justice.
He was another turnstile.
We got another one coming up at number 6.
You guys
King
killed
Dunlap. King Dunlap.
You guys killed it.
Number 5, Marcus Smith.
Marcus Smith. That was the dark days of the draft.
Yeah. Number 4, Bryce Huff. Number 3, I thought this guy would rival Donnie Jones for you, Kiko Alonso.
Oh, yeah. You remember I used to call him?
Kike? What'd you call
Shakiko.
him?
Shakiko. Yeah, so I used to call him Shakiko, and every time I would do Shakira, Shakiko, and we would play the Shakira song.
Number 2, Namdi.
Ah, that's good.
Eating lunch in the car by himself.
That's good. A great actor. That's Namdi.
Yeah. And number 1, the firefighter, Danny Watkins.
Danny Watkins. Dude, that's a great list. That's a great list. You guys killed it. You guys killed this list. The worst Eagles of 26. Here's Eddie Wright. Orlando Scamdrick.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Right?
Yeah.
And then he hits a little Golden Tate or Golden Tate.
Jalen Rager.
Jalen Rager's got to be there, dude.
Yeah, he's got to be on this list somewhere.
Yeah, Jalen Rager's got to be there. Jalen Rager was horrendous.
Patio Furniture chimes in with Dorial Green Beckham.
Oh, wow. Green Slime. I used to call him green Slime.
A bunch of trash, bunch of rubbish over the last 26 years.
Green Slime. Do you remember how bad the receivers were? Remember we used to go to the Institute for the hands?
Yes.
So I came up with this bit where they would go to the Black Forest in Germany to come up with it to the Institute to try to get hands. Their hands went on backwards. Like, you got to be kidding me. They were the worst. Dorial Green Beckham.
Horrible. Uncle Frank chimes in with a good one. Golden Ain't. Not bad for Uncle Frank.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Nolan Carroll.
Nolan Carroll. That's a real good one.
Pinkston, Thrash, get a lot of mentions.
Well, Pinkston wasn't horrible, but he was the worst. He had the worst moment of any of the receivers. The alligator, when Joe Theismann said alligator body. That's not alligator arms. That's alligator body.
That's a nice line by Theismann. I wasn't a Theismann fan, but that's a good line.
That's a great line. Yeah. All right. We got to take a quick TO. Mikey Sealski is coming up. Looking forward to that. Yeah, you know what, my man? You're gonna have to. I
don't have the parks. I got Xfinity.
All right, I'll do the parks. I have the parks, but then you're gonna have to drive a lot of the conversation. I'm not feeling well.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about our friends. How about the Bet Park Soccer Fest continues today? Another World Soccer Watch Party starting at 1 o'clock. U.S. plays Australia at 3 o'clock. The Bet Parks app and Parks Casino have you covered in person and online. Nobody does live betting better than Bet Parks online sportsbook casino app. Get to the sportsbook. All right, at Parks, 1 o'clock. You win soccer jerseys, swag, the whole nine. Watch all the action on the incredible 156-foot screen. The whole definition wall is unbelievable. Check out the World Soccer Hub on the BetParks app. It's got it all, man. The BetParks Sportsbook app at Best Casino in Ben Salem. Today, 1 o'clock, Street Road exit. Details at betparks.com. Got to be 21 in New Jersey, PA, Maryland. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right. What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it the same price for 5 years, not worrying about prices going up and down? Well, that's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your house work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that lets you stream the game even when the whole family's online. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment's included. Take it from me. I've been an Xfinity customer for 20 years. A lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. So lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions do apply.
Perfect. Good job. All right. Time now for our man, the great.
By the way, they're calling this the Cousins flu game in the chat.
Yeah. I wish I could shoot. I wish I could get a sweat on. Man. We got the great Mike Sielski.
Here comes Mike Sielski.
Here he is. Our man.
Cuz you playing hurt today.
Yeah. I got some bug. I don't know what
no.
the hell bug I got. It was one of those where you get the chills and fever and sweating. I don't know what. It's something.
You got a fever, and the only prescription is more World Cup.
I love how he drops the line and casually takes the drink from his mug. Like Johnny Carson.
It was great. It was great. You'd be great at that.
Weird, wild, and wacky. Yeah.
You'd be good at that. I could totally see you doing that. So, do you have the World Cup fever? Are you enjoying it?
I'm going to be covering Brazil, Haiti tonight. So I've spent a couple days going back through the history of Haitian soccer, which has been kind of fun. And I'm really looking forward to getting down there tonight and seeing what the scene is like around it. But in terms of watching the matches and like really getting into the matches, I haven't done that yet. I've just had too much on my plate. And I feel like, I don't know if everybody in Philadelphia is like this anymore, but I feel like, I grew up paying attention to Philadelphia sports first and foremost. I wasn't a big soccer head as a kid. And so I'm not really a big soccer head now. And I think the event's great. And it's been really cool to see what it's done for the city. And God, I wish I had slapped a QR code to pre-order my book on the Rocky statue for all these people who are coming from outside the country. But it's cool. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not like immersed in it.
I'm really amazed. Like, as someone, I grew up thinking everyone played soccer. I came from like Juniata Park, Kensington, huge soccer community up there.
I played it.
You just run around kicking a ball. I don't know.
Yeah, I played it as a kid too, VG. And what's funny is I grew up like just outside the city, and a lot of my friends in grade school as we were coming up were first generation Americans. They were, their parents had been born in Italy in particular, and then come over here. And they all love soccer. They loved it more than I did. They were into Diego Maradona at the World Cup in '86, and I was more like, why isn't Kevin Gross a better pitcher for the Phillies?
Yeah, I think you and I had parallel childhoods growing up.
Yeah, I think so.
I never played it. I didn't play it growing up.
We would even do Juniata. They did the gym. They would turn the basketball gym. They put big boards up and had indoor soccer when it was like cold in the summer. I think when it was hot out, we play indoor soccer. It was great.
Really?
Oh, without America having a good league, it was just tough to get into it.
Yeah.
Following soccer.
Yeah, and you know, again, I think Mike's right in that we were raised with Philadelphia. We were so provincial,
right.
right? Like we were raised with Philadelphia sports, and anything else felt not as it didn't matter.
Yeah, I relearned that this week when I, suggested that the Knicks were a really good story and people should, follow it on Twitter.
Man.
I know.
Got
We
some
had
blowback
Jay,
there.
we had Jay on the other day and yesterday, and it was funny. Like,
Yeah.
They could deal with it just because it's Jay, but they don't. Nobody wants to hear about the great Jalen Brunson and what he did and what he did.
Yeah,
even though,
I mean, it was amazing. It really was, and nobody around here wants to hear about Knicks fans suffering for 53 years. And I think that's the dynamic. Like, that's maybe I didn't say it in the right way, but that should be a point of connection. I know it's hard. I know it's New York. I know everybody in Philly hates New York. I get all of that. But the Knicks, and Cuz, you know this, the Knicks unite that city more than any other team, even more than the Yankees. There are no divided loyalties. And so, are some Knicks fans obnoxious? Sure, they are. But you know what? Some Philly fans are obnoxious too. We are, they are.
I mean, let's be real, right? Eagles fans and Knicks fans, there's like when they won it, and all those stories were coming out. It reminded me of when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
That's absolutely right. And there could be a point of connection there. And like, hey, all these people who have rooted for this team for all this time through, James Dolan's mostly terrible ownership and Isaiah Thomas and Phil Jackson and poor Patrick Ewing not being able to win a championship, they finally got to celebrate. And, the way they did it made it all the cooler to me anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's hard in this city to say feel sorry for fans who've suffered 50 years when we got the Flyers and the Sixers right now. I mean, the Sixers are far behind with the 50 years. We're right up on their tails.
Yeah, right. It's like one of those ballpark scoreboard like races, like which one of the the red dot or the blue dot is going to win first, and the the orange and black dot is here, but the red, white, and blue dot's coming up behind.
Right.
Hey, let me read this to you. This is one of the coaches, Maurizio Pochettino, who said, American sports reward losers. Soccer is different. If you reward those who don't win, if you don't have goals, you don't fight. If I lose, what happens? Nothing. They just fire the coach. Also, the American player is disciplined, but with a sense of complacency that isn't good for a sport like soccer. It took us 1.5 years to change that mentality.
Wow.
I was like, wow, like what? He was like ripping. I'm thinking the American athlete, we're the supreme athlete.
When you read that, I thought more about like owners in the NBA, to be honest, who nowadays, and we have, I think, somebody in town who fits this bill. It's not, they are not burning with a desire to win a championship.
Yeah.
Other owners in other sports over time have. In terms of the American athlete, I mean, maybe there isn't as deep a sense of nationalism in America as there is in some of these other countries where soccer is the number one sport and the team is the manifestation of national pride in a way that no team can be in the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball. It just can't. It's too diffuse. And fewer athletes, I think, feel that feeling for the cities and teams they play for because they change so many times. We want especially in Philly, like we want our athletes to feel pride on our behalf as fans. And fewer of them do that because they came from somewhere else and they figure they're going to go somewhere else. So when you get somebody like a Brandon Graham or a Jason Kelsey, it's a rarer thing nowadays.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's just interesting that they said that the idea of complacency. Did the evolution of the athlete? Because it wasn't always like that. I mean, Pete Rose came up today, right? Like the ultimate competitor, right?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, the ultimate. Now they're both gamblers, but the ultimate competitors, right? Has the fact that sports gotten so big, the money's so great that they're diligent, but there's a bit of complacency.
Yeah, there's two ways that you could look at that. I wonder if because athletes are starting in sports and really like professional sports, and because we've talked about this, right? Like the AAU circuit, the club team circuit, all of that. If they start earlier in that, maybe they're not as competitive by the time they reach the level that they want to reach because they're burned out. They're tired of it. That's one thing I think of. The other thing I think of is, again, back to basketball, where more countries have systems set up to train and coach athletes in a way to play that America really doesn't have right now. Right? Like that's been the complaint about US soccer for so long is US soccer strong enough in teaching our best soccer players how to play and how to compete. And now it's a big concern in the NBA, the idea that a Serbia or, pick your European country can compete with us. France can compete with us at the Olympics on a global stage because they are coaching their players in a certain way and training them in a certain way that we aren't, because we're just kind of like, yeah, well, we've got a bunch of guys who are really great and they'll play the way they play. And we'll just pluck Steph and LeBron and KD and Embiid and whoever else, and we'll roll out there and we'll win. So I don't know. Without knowing what the guy's thinking or what he's referring to, I'm not 100% sure what comes to mind for me.
Yeah, it was just interesting that, that he would say that about it got me thinking about the athlete and who the athlete is today. And,
you think the guaranteed money adds a bit of complacency here?
Sure, probably.
10 years guaranteed, $300 million. Like it takes a different kind of person to be motivated every day when you're not chasing that.
Yeah, look, we can sound like old dudes all we want, and younger fans can cry "shut up, boomer" all they want. The fact of the matter is, when you are playing Major League Baseball in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, or and add another layer to this, when black athletes have just been introduced into these leagues, right? Jackie Robinson breaks the color barrier, and then you have guys coming after him, and they want to stay, and they are doing everything they can to be a Major League Baseball player or an NFL player. And they're not making millions of dollars. They're working summer jobs. There's an element of desperation there that isn't present nowadays for a lot of these guys. It just isn't.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great point. All right, let's go around the horn like we always do, the 4-for-4 merry-go-round. Let's begin with the fightings and what do you make of Painter? Because, man, Mikey, that's a real problem.
It's a huge problem. On the one hand, and Murph wrote about this the other day, there have been great pitchers who have gotten off to worse starts, right? Roy Halladay was even worse, than Painter has been. And he went down and toyed with his mechanics. When he went down to the minors, he was throwing completely over the top. Down in the minors, he started throwing a little bit more 3/4. He meets sports psychologist, and he's off. And before you know, you got a Hall of Fame pitcher. I'm not saying that's going to happen for Andrew Painter. I am saying it's early. That said, what bothers me about the Painter situation is the Phillies didn't have a backup plan here. We got told that Andrew Painter was going to step in and be ready, and they acted as if he would step in and be ready to at least be a 4th or 5th starter, if not something better than that. And you can't do that as a team that's going to contend for a National League championship or a World Series. You got to have a backup plan, man. You've got to have something in case that goes wrong, because he's a rookie. He's never pitched in the major leagues before. I don't care how talented he is. It might go wrong, especially for a kid coming off of Tommy John surgery. And that's the thing that bothers me, is that they seem to have reacted to this as if it came out of the blue, and they should have had a contingency plan in place.
I got to tell you, the Dombrowski has done a terrible job. Terrible. Like, he wanted to build this team around pitching. And like you said, he left himself with, no fallback with Painter. The bullpen has been an unmitigated disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, Alvarado's horrible.
Mm.
They spent a lot of money with Keller. Keller stinks. Like, the bullpen's a mess. And you wanted to build your team, and we're still having the same conversation about the outfield.
Yes. Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the 2019 Sixers after they made all those trades. They were so top heavy as a team. It was the starting lineup, and that was it. And if Embiid, Simmons, Redick, Tobias Harris, and Jimmy Butler didn't blow a team out or score enough and play good enough defense to win, they had no chance because they didn't have a bench. And the Phillies are built exactly the same way. If Zach Wheeler or Christopher Sanchez isn't dealing, and if Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, and to a lesser degree Brandon Marsh, aren't hitting, what do you have here?
No.
It's like,
and that's it.
You're getting me more fired up because I'm at a point now where I'm kind of disinterested and I have fatigue with the recurring problems again and again. But yeah, no plan B when it's not like they had Walker Buehler or Michael Lorenzen sitting around. It was Taijuan Walker. You knew that was going to go south.
Right.
And they have nothing. So we were just saying in the beginning, they don't even have a fifth starter right now. They're a contending team. They have no one to roll out on the fifth day. Crazy.
Yeah. And to draw the Sixers analogy even further, look at how the sport might be changing. You know, they just lost 2 out of 3 to the Brewers. And the difference in that series, look, you know, Mizorowski's awesome and was awesome that night. But the difference between those two teams, at least offensively, is that one puts the ball in play.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and the other doesn't. If the Phillies aren't hitting home runs, we've been saying this for years, their offense is dead. Well, there are teams like the Brewers that are starting to figure out that in today's day and age, when shifts are banned, putting the ball in play more often has its advantages. You don't have to hit a home run every single time. You can string hits together like teams used to do back in the day. And so, you know, you have the Sixers who built themselves around stars at a time when the NBA is going deeper and teams are playing 8, 9, sometimes 10 guys of solid pieces. And the Sixers are kind of behind that curve. Well, the Phillies might be behind the curve in Major League Baseball.
Clearly, you're 1,000% right. Here's the thing that's crazy, too, is that the Brewers not only put the ball in play, but they also have more power than the Phillies, right? Yelich, Churio, Turang, Andrew Vaughn, Contreras, Mitchell. Go down that lineup. They got more power, and they put the ball in play. Like, they're just they're light years better than the Phillies lineup. Light years.
Yeah, and you know, VG, you mentioned Dombrowski, and I wonder if we're going to look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and there might be some reevaluating, or if you want to call it revisionism, about this era of the Phillies where, and look, Matt Klentak made his mistakes. I'm not arguing that like Matt Klentak was some genius general manager that the Phillies let walk away. But they signed Bryce Harper on his watch. He didn't impede John Middleton from going out and persuading Bryce Harper to come here. He traded for JT Realmuto. They signed Zach Wheeler. Like the fulcrum moves that have made this team what it has been didn't happen with Dombrowski. You know, yeah, he got Kyle Schwarber. Awesome. He also got Nick Castellanos, which turned out to be a big zero. He also signed Taijuan Walker, which turned out to be a negative number. I mean, less than zero. So, you know, I just wonder about that. If they are not able to fulfill the goal of winning a World Series and they have to tear this thing down, I wonder how we're going to look at Dombrowski's tenure.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Certain guys, when you look back, like we were doing this the other day, Ed Wade was a great general manager. Great. Like, had to deal with a cheap ownership group, had to deal with all this stuff. But the core of that team came from Ed Wade. And he built the front. The reason why I'm not a Klentak fan is he did nothing with the farm system. And he ushered in the analytics, which I think they went way overboard and talked to those guys.
Yeah.
Like, they don't teach it. They don't teach baseball well enough in that organization. That's what's crazy about it.
Yeah, I think that's been true for a long, long time. Again, we've talked about it a bunch that they've had basically in their history 2 periods, relatively brief, when their farm system was really good. In the late 60s into the mid 70s, and then in the late, 1990s into the early 2000s when Mike Arbuckle was kind of running the show. But you're 100% right about Ed Wade. I mean, we just mentioned Dombrowski persuading Kyle Schwarber to come here. How about Ed Wade having to sell Philadelphia and the Phillies to Jim Thome?
Right?
Think about that.
Yeah.
When they were still
Nobody
the vet.
wanted to come in. The vet, yes. Come here to this rat-infested stadium.
Right.
Yeah.
Trust us, we're going to build a great ballpark, and people will show up once we build it, even though we've had one winning season since 1993.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So, yeah.
He was great. He was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing was, we need like a mixture. Ed Wade got you to a point, because I was part of the chorus that wanted to get rid of Ed Wade. It was time. He couldn't get them over the hump. Pat Gillick came in. Pat Gillick is like the opposite of Dombrowski. He found the role players who contributed without going star hunting all the time. Dombrowski can't do it. He's got a blind spot with these role players.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah, he doesn't judge talent well enough. I mean, let's be real. I mean, you mentioned Lee Thomas in that era. I mean, who they get? They got Victorino. They got Worth. Like, they got real players.
Yeah, and he was able to make in-season trades and signings. He traded for Jamie Moyer, which turned out to be a terrific move. Talk about stabilizing a rotation, right?
That's right.
So but back to the point, like, are we going to look back at this time and say, holy cow, the Phillies went out and got Dave Dombrowski, this giant of player personnel in Major League Baseball, and it was just a missed opportunity.
And you know what kind of sucks is that here we are, the All-Star games here, and it should be a celebration of baseball Philadelphia, right? Like this summer, once that All-Star game and home run derby, all that stuff, that's got to be a celebration of baseball in Philadelphia. What baseball in Philly meant, right?
Yeah.
Like that. And the problem is, I get this sense from the fan base. I brought this up to you last week. People are tepid with him.
Yeah.
I told you about a friend of mine who was like bored with him.
Yeah, and I think this comes back to, again, something we've talked about, which is I think some of that tepidness comes back to the fact that the best players on this team, for the most part, were not homegrown.
Yeah.
That's part of the Trey Turner thing. There's a difference between, certainly in Philadelphia, and I would say probably in every city that loves baseball, there's a difference between the bond that fans will have generally with a player who comes up through the minor leagues and develops organically. It isn't just that Jimmy and Chase and Ryan won a World Series, or Cole won a World Series. It's that those guys all came up through the system and fans had a chance to see them grow. So you're watching this guy become a great player before your eyes. There's a difference between that and signing, and it's the first time we've mentioned his name, a Trey Turner, who comes in with the expectation that he's supposed to be great. And every time he's not, and he hasn't been, he's been the furthest thing from it. There's a tepidness at best and an anger and a resentment at worst.
It's a great point. And, it's amazing. He won a batting title, and it feels hollow.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, it was the lowest batting average to win a batting title in the National League since, guys were dropping their gloves in the outfield, and for the other team to run out and pick them up and use themselves.
Yeah, but to be fair, the game's changed. I mean, average isn't what it was. Averages are down all across the board.
Right.
It's not just,
right.
I mean,
but it wasn't as if
philosophy of hitting has changed.
Totally true, VG. But it wasn't as if anybody looked at the season Turner had last year and was like, hey, an amazing season and won a batting title, and this was the guy that everybody thought the Phillies were getting. He really hasn't been that guy at all.
No.
Joe 76 in the chat had a really good point. Imagine if this Phillies organization didn't have big market money.
Right.
They
develop players. They'd be far worse than the Pirates. The Pirates develop players. They'd be amongst the basement of the league.
Yeah.
Well, they struggle to draft. Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to do both, right? Like the Dodgers, it's easy to chalk up the Dodgers' greatness over the last few years or the Yankees' greatness in the 90s and early 2000s and their ability to stay relevant and keep winning to just big money. But the Yankees teams of the mid to late 90s, their best players, again, were homegrown guys. Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Bernie Williams. The Dodgers now have some great homegrown guys, and they have big money, but their homegrown guys allow them to make trades to go get other big name guys.
Yep. Yep. Paje, allows you to go get Freeman or Betts. And
Right.
It's true.
Every year they have 4 guys in the top 100 prospects.
Yep.
Every year.
Every year.
They
It's
trade
them and the
4,
Braves.
another 4 come up. It's crazy.
Yeah. And we're talking about Aiden Miller for the 100th time. And Mike, it's a rite of passage with this baseball team, how their prospects never pan out. Never.
Because they don't have enough of them.
No.
So when they get guys who flash a little bit, everybody gets fixated on them. We talk about a guy like Aiden Miller to a large degree because there isn't anyone else to talk about.
Yeah.
That's part of this. If they had a dozen Aiden Millers in their farm system and one of them has back problems, okay, then the next guy in the prospect assembly line steps up. But they don't.
Yeah. Great point. Great stuff. All right. Flyers make a trade. I like the Wall trade. I thought that was a good move. You get a 1B goalie, upgrade from Ersan.
Yeah, look, no goalie is Martin Brodeur anymore. Nobody's playing 70 to 75 games a season the way Brodeur did back in the day. So, and Vladar played more games last season than he ever has before. So you need a good backup. And, Wall is a major upgrade over Sam Erson. Sam, great guy. Love talking to him. He's not better than this guy. They got better in an important position. And maybe it helps Vladar during the course of the regular season be fresher and even better come the pro season. So, yeah, I like the move.
Yeah, yeah. What's your expectation? Like, what are you looking for?
From Wall or just from them in the offseason?
No, this period. Because it's going to be a trade. You're not going to get it. You're not really going to. They may sign an offer sheet to a guy, but it's got to be a trade.
Yeah,
what are you looking for?
I'm looking at in general terms. I'm looking to see what position Danny prioritizes. Is it the number one center or is it the number one defenseman? Maybe it just comes down to availability. John Carlson intrigues me, like as a 1 year, let's show us, hey, JC, so, show us how it's done to quarterback a power play. I wouldn't be opposed to that because I don't think like next year you're not making moves this offseason to contend immediately.
Right.
You're still on this developmental, so to speak, kind of track. Darnell Nurse, I
got no interest in Darnell. He's 1,000 years old. Enough.
Yeah. The Dylan Larkin thing, I am keeping an eye on, though.
All right.
I'm keeping an eye on that. Because Steve Yzerman is not going to make a move, I don't think, just to make Dylan Larkin happy. And so the idea that Larkin only has 3 teams on his list, that doesn't do anything for me. I think he's eventually going to have to expand that list because Yzerman's just going to tell him and his agent, I'm not making a move that doesn't help the Red Wings. So, you better expand your list or, you're not going to get what you want.
I also would rule out Quinn Hughes.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you've mentioned that before.
Yeah.
And again, in theory, awesome. Great player. I think I mentioned it to you before. I watched him a lot during that first round series the Wild had against the Avalanche, and he was tremendous, even though they lost in 6, whatever it was, 5-6 games. Just tell me what you're giving up to get him, and that you're not gutting the roster and the organization's farm system to get him.
All right.
Hey, can I play while we're on the Flyers? Can I play a little clip of Taylor Hall hanging out with, I think it's the Nasty Knuckles or the Chiclet guys. I forget which podcast he was on. And he talks about one of them picking the Flyers to beat the Hurricanes. I think Joey's got rid of it.
Ottawa, I think you sent me some crying, laughing emojis, and you're just right after the sweep, like, hey, buddy, good pick. And then all of a sudden I hear from you again, Yance picked Philly. So you have a lot of things you could say to us to really just kind of remind everyone how stupid we are.
You guys are. I just like the Ottawa one. Like that was a trendy pick. I think that that's okay. But like Yans, no disrespect to Philly, but like, how do you watch hockey and pick Philly?
I was just trying to light a fire under your ass.
We had a great year, but like, there's no way we were losing to Philly.
No, there was no chance you were losing to Philly. No chance. But in the end, there was no chance you were losing Ottawa. And there was
that's cool. I just wanted to play the part where he played about Philly, talked about Philly. Where it's like, how do you watch hockey and pick?
That's a great line. It's great. That's awesome.
Hey, I mean, he's not wrong. Like nobody went into that series thinking the Flyers had a shot, you know?
Yeah.
And as he said, as Taylor Hall said, like, no disrespect, but the teams are just at different stages of you know, development and competitiveness and all of that. So, you know, the fact that the Flyers, and I think the fans around here like recognize that, like the Flyers didn't embarrass themselves against the Hurricanes. They lost to a much better team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that is played for Tuck always looking for his motivational thing. I would play that on loop. Like hopefully get them right mindset for this upcoming season.
Well, I mean, he can play it as much as he wants. If he doesn't acquire some more goal scoring, it ain't going to matter.
True. True. I guess there are reports this morning that they expect Carlson to sign with the Lightning after the Radish trade that went down.
Yeah.
The Radish trade went down. Let's talk Birds. What do you make of that Joe Santoliquito kind of nugget about the Hertz camp? And do you think that this was hey, you know, we're going to look for the extension. You guys aren't giving us the extension. You know, is it that, or is it just kind of much ado about nothing?
I'm more inclined to the latter. Like looking at this from a bit of a, not a distance, but like, what does it change? Okay, so some people close to Jalen Hurts aren't happy that the Eagles didn't defend Jalen in the way they defended Carson Wentz back in 2019. Well, the Eagles at the time, to me, kind of looked a little silly for defending Carson Wentz the way that they did. You know, Carson had demanded a trade before the end of that 2020 season. It was obvious that they had to move him. I wrote that the night that Chris Mortensen broke that story, that the Eagles had a choice to make. They either fire Doug Peterson or they trade Carson Wentz, and they turned out to do both. I don't understand what Jalen's people think is going to happen here. That either Jalen plays well this season in Sean Mannion's offense and shows that he's a fit for this offense, and they're able to throw the ball around the yard in a way that they didn't and couldn't since 2022. And all is well in Eagle land because Jeffrey Lurie still loves Jalen. Or Jalen doesn't play well, and the Eagles have a relatively hard decision to make. And they're not going to be above like making a move, I don't think. You know, I think Jalen's saying, well, you know, Jalen's people saying, well, you got a winner here. Yeah, you do have a winner. And Jalen obviously has winning characteristics. But he's, you know, there have also been plenty of situations where he hasn't been the primary reason the Eagles have won these games. You know, I've talked about this on the radio with Rob Ellis. Like, everybody remembers the championship game against the Commanders and the second Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And he played awesome in those two games. He was awful against the Packers and the Rams in those first two playoff games. So the idea that Jalen Hurts always plays well in big games is just not true. He's had a number of not so great games in big games, and his teammates have kind of allowed him to get away with it to a certain degree. And that, again, I don't mean to come off like a Jalen Hurts hater. That's just the reality.
Yeah. No, I think that's kind of, it's interesting because Jalen is, you know, we did this little exercise about the top 26 Eagles of this century. And if you look at the quarterbacks, clearly, I don't know how you feel, but I think Hurts is number one over McNabb. And right? I mean, it's not even close. But, and maybe it's because of that the fan base is so interesting how they are very protective of Jalen in a way that I don't think I've ever seen. Do you remember?
No.
I don't.
No, this is different. Like, they were not like, all right, let's go back a ways. right? They were not protective of Ron Jaworski.
No.
They part of the fan base, a big part of the fan base loved Randall, but Randall had his shortcomings at the time he was with the Eagles and got some of them sorted out with Minnesota. But be that as it may, there was a sense of unfulfilled potential there with Randall. Donovan, we know the history. We don't have to go back through it about how a good bit of the fan base felt. Wentz, once Foles won that Super Bowl, like it was totally different for Carson Wentz here.
Yeah, you're out. Yeah, they were like
totally different. Yeah. And now it's Jalen. And the town, a good segment of the town, I would say a larger percentage of Eagles fans have wrapped their arms around Jalen in a way they haven't for most of his predecessors. But that can go a little, like, you got to be realistic about these things. You can't just say Jalen's awesome and is a winner, and they can't get rid of him because he's awesome and he's a winner. Like, he does have some of those qualities. He carries himself so well, and he does make big plays in key moments often. But they also have made it pretty clear that they're looking, they would like there to be more there if possible. And they don't want to have to run the ball more than any other team in the NFL to make him effective. They'd like him to just be effective more often without having to run it 3 out of every 5 plays. And if he doesn't show he can do that this year, it's very possible there'll be a change.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting. I brought this up the other day, but it's germane, Mike, that if there was 2 years left on the contract, we wouldn't be having the conversation. But the fact that the contract's up after next year, it's like you got to have the conversation because he's going to want to get paid. He's going to want the big extension, and you got to decide whether or not you want to give him that big extension that's going to, you got a lot of guys to pay. And there's a whole movement. Obviously you got the Mahomes and you got those quarterbacks. But there's a school of thought. I was talking to somebody in another front office.
I know exactly where you're going. Go ahead.
No, just finish it for me.
That quarterbacks are becoming fungible with certain exceptions. That right. Unless you have a Mahomes or a Josh Allen or an absolute stud who's going to be there, an all-time great for the next 10 to 15 years, why not make a change when you feel like you have the opportunity to make a change?
Yep, that's exactly right. And this guy told me that was like, you're going to see teams around the league do this because nobody wants to spend that kind of money, that portion of the cap on one player who's just not that good. Like, listen, Mahomes, they'll pay. But if a guy, if the guy's good but not great, they're not going to spend it.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I wrote about this a couple of years ago when Matt Ryan retired. Because I made the case that, like, he's probably not going to get in the Hall of Fame. But he actually accomplished something that was more difficult than becoming a Hall of Fame quarterback, which is that he made the Atlanta Falcons respectable and relevant. And that franchise has been so bad for so long that even though they didn't win a Super Bowl, even though 28-3 happened, every dollar they spent on Matt Ryan was worth it because they were in it every year, and he was the reason they were in it. And that's something that an organization has to weigh, right? Like, even if you don't have the Mahomes, Allen, Brady guy, do you have a guy who does some of the things that Jalen does? He's a great face of the franchise. And as we just said, the fan base responds to him. And if you put the conditions around him, you can win a Super Bowl. Do you value that? Or do you say to yourself, you know what? We got to get better here just from an ability standpoint. And what steps do we need to take to do it?
Wow, that's a great point.
Can I do a quick aside from everyone with North Catholic vocabulary like me? Fungible means an asset or individual units who are interchangeable and essentially indistinguishable from one another. I had to look.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Sorry, I was dropping an SAT.
Tone it down, Mike.
Yeah, sorry. Basically means that,
I got a lot of North Catholic alum who follow me. They like me, they watch. So I just got to hook them up.
Yeah, basically like that there's a bunch of quarterbacks on a conveyor belt. And think of them as like bottles of Mountain Dew, and they're all just, you grab the next bottle, you drink this one, and when you finish it, you grab the next one.
Yep. And that GM told me about that. And was like, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's a little specious too, because the cap is going up so much that even paying, it's the push-pull, right? Like the quarterbacks are going to make more money, but the cap is going to be higher too. So, you're still going to have some room to be able to spend, just not as much as if you use a guy on his rookie contract and then, kick him out the door after the end of that contract.
Right. I mean, and that's been proven. Look at the quarterbacks who have won on deals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. Now, would you touch Sorsby? Because I think the Eagles would.
I think they would too. And I heard Z-Burn with you guys, like doing their due diligence. And yes, like they're going to do their due diligence. I'm going to, probe his mind to find out, if he's reformed his ways. I said this before, the initial case that Sorsby's lawyers made for why he should be granted an opportunity to continue to play college football was that he's a gambling addict. And this is not his fault. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that makes no sense to me. 0 sense. If you are addicted to gambling and you can't stop and you have already bet on your team, how can you possibly play football, competitive football at the level of high college football or the NFL? You can't help yourself from betting. That to me is a total red flag. I'm an evangelist. I'm like the betting on your team thing stops me cold. It just does. And that would make me in this situation a lousy NFL general manager, but I would not touch Brandon Sorsby.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, his lawyers are arguing that it's an illness. Like you can't shun someone for an illness, but it's not a terminal illness. It's
but the illness, it's a compulsion to do the thing that you absolutely cannot do in professional or college sports. You are compelled to do it. That is what they basically admitted to. It's not like he chose to do it and can choose not to do it under the right circumstances. They said he is an addict. And I'm sorry, like this is the one thing that you cannot do if you are a professional athlete.
I mean,
you don't believe in recovery?
I mean, I'm not willing to take that chance. Again, in this situation, it would make me a lousy general manager. But for the sake of the integrity of the sport, and I don't like the way it's inching. We've gone from a relative trickle of gambling to a fire hose that a lot of people are drinking from. I know this makes me sound like a do-gooder kind of thing. I get it, but you just can't have it. Can't have it.
No, well, the problem is the leagues sold their souls, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Totally agree.
They took the money, and then it's only going to get worse because we're going to create a bunch of young. Think about this for a second. What kids, what group of people are most vulnerable to betting on sports?
Young men.
Competitive, right? Because they're competitive. They're sports guys. I hear it all the time. Like, on my baseball team, they're talking parlays and all this other stuff. And they're not even betting real apps. Like on real, like there's these fake apps, which drives me nuts. Starter apps, and we're going to create that. So what do you think's going to happen? You're going to have these kids that are sports kids that play it, that are they're looking for action. I mean, that's what happened with Jordan and everybody else.
Sure. And you're going to have, it's already starting to happen, right? Like it's not a big stretch nowadays for people to start forming conspiracy theories about everything. So what's going to happen? People are not going to trust that officials are making calls because that's what they see or thought they saw. They're not going to trust that the quarterback didn't throw a late interception because he didn't have money on the game. He just made a bad read. Like, we're not going to be able to believe what we see on the field or the court or the ice rink. And then sports is gone.
Do you think, though, we make a big, is sports impervious to it? Because as much as you can have the conspiracy theories and all, first of all, the money is so great that, it's not like the quarterback's going to throw the game because the quarterback's making so much money. The quarterback in college is making so much money that You
mean a quarterback like Brandon Sorsby?
Yeah. No, I mean, I hear you. But
You know?
is he throwing the game, or is to win a bet when he's making $6 million and win a $10 bet? Or he's betting on his team because he's going to win?
I mean, I think it depends on the circumstances.
In Europe, don't they bet on again? That they're allowed to bet on their teams.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, Europe is the circumstances and the system of betting is different. I know a little bit, tiny bit about it, but I'm not an expert in it. I just think it opens a Pandora's box of conspiracy and disbelief and too much danger in terms of the integrity of the sports. You know, and I think these leagues need to start taking steps to curtail it. Otherwise, they're going to sow the seeds of their own destruction.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm with you. It's frightening, man. It really. Yeah. All right, where do you stand on Henry Ruggs? So Henry Ruggs, that awful situation happened. He may be getting out, and again, he got paroles denied. But I heard that his lawyer's working on something, and I know they're doing their due diligence on Henry Ruggs. How would you feel about that?
Again, I think good general manager does his due diligence. Do I think I'm more open to Henry Ruggs coming back and playing than I am somebody who bet on his own team? And I know that's convoluted morality within America as a whole, but it's not within the realm of professional sports. It's not. Yeah. It doesn't make Henry Ruggs a great human being by any stretch of the imagination. It just means that when someone has served his or her time, they have to be brought back into society in some way. And they are allowed to pursue their jobs or a job and a thing that they do well. And telling Henry Ruggs that he can't be a professional football player because he committed an egregious crime outside of the realm of football, I don't think you can do that. I don't think it's a good thing to do that. I think betting on your team in sports is a different ball of wax.
I got to tell you, you are. I love these conversations. You're great. They're great. I really appreciate your point of view. It's very good.
Thanks. Thanks. I enjoy it too. I'm sorry I couldn't do it earlier in the week.
No. Listen, this is awesome. I wish I was feeling better. I could even.
Yeah, well, you gotta finish your show, lie down, relax, drink some hot tea, get yourself a hot toddy. You know.
Yeah.
Have a little whiskey, and sweat it out of you. You know.
Who am I, Paulie?
That's good. That's good.
Have a great night tonight. Enjoy it. It's It's going to be an incredible game, like a spectacle to cover. So I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. You're the best. Appreciate it, Mike Stilsky. Oof.
You hanging?
Buddy. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Franny's coming up.
Cool.
Looking forward to that. First, let's take care of some business.
All right, let me tell you what I like. Something I actually really love because it rewards you the way you already spend your money. And that's exactly what you get with the Everyday Elite Visa credit card from TrueMark Credit Union. We're talking up to 4% cash back on eligible everyday purchases, including gas. Like, gas is crazy. 4% back on gas, that's some money. Now we're talking. And for a limited time, new card holders also get a 0% introductory APR on purchases for the first 12 months, then 17.99 APR after that. That's still pretty reasonable compared to what's out there. You get more cash back, less catch. You can apply today at TrueMark.com, or you can stop by one of their 24 conveniently located TrueMark Credit Union branch locations. Rates are based on creditworthiness, 4% cash back on eligible purchases, bonus categories capped annually, restrictions to apply. Visit TrueMark.com for details. They are insured by the NCUA. And let's talk about Ace, because summer's here. It's heating up like Anthony. You got to keep your rooms, you're comfortable. You got to keep your house and your rooms comfortable. Get that AC working. Heat and humidity are creeping in. And if the AC is not cranking like it should, don't worry, because Ace Hardware Home Services, they got you covered. From AC repairs to water heaters, plumbing, electrical, They got it all. Their trusted local pros bring the same helpful service you know from Ace. They bring it right to your home, right to your front door. Whether it's a quick fix or a big summer project, they've got the tools, they got the know-how, and most importantly, they got the people to get it done right. Ace Hardware Home Services, they're bringing the helpful to your home. So if you got something going on, you need a home repair project, visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started. Once again, don't hesitate. acehardwarehomeservices.com and get started on your next home repair project.
All right. We got our man, St. Francis. I love St. Francis. He's so perfect, St. Francis. He is. That's the perfect nickname. I like it better
It
than
is for him. Yeah.
Right? Because he's a great dude. He just is a good guy. He just is.
He loves what he does. He's awesome at what he does. He's awesome breaking down film in front of people at the events. He loves it. You could tell he loves it.
And he's a good dude. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he's just that good dude. Like, films is that.
I always go get what I see. He pops in the office. I always there's Fanny. Nice.
Yeah. You guys. Certain people have that way about them.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have
Ben? Not so much. Ben comes in. I'm like, there's Ben.
Oh, come on. Ben's the best.
I'm just kidding. He's the best. I gotta take a shot while I can, even on remote.
Yeah, Ben's the best. Gotta start laughing. Did you see the U.S. Open yesterday?
I didn't, man. I saw it in the office. I'm telling you, I'm
World
like
Cup?
Pele right now. I'm all World Cup up. I can't wait. My other job, I'm off today for Juneteenth. I'm gonna get hunkered in somewhere at 2:00. Get ready for this game at 3:00. It's gonna be a long afternoon.
Oh, really? What are you gonna do? You're gonna just go all in?
I don't know. We're talking. We might go to Fan Fest. I haven't checked what the weather's gonna be like at 3:00. We might go to Fan Fest.
You're going to go to Fan Fest? Wow,
it's possible. Yeah. We got Kavanaugh's around the corner
at 3:00, and that's going to be outrageous, right? Like that's going to be amazing. Then you got the Scots. We got to root the Scots.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might be betting Morocco there.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Morocco's
I may just bet
good?
both teams to score, so I don't have a rooting interest because I want to cheer the Scots, but I don't think they're going to
win. And then Brazil, Haiti.
Dude, I read this nugget. I think Brazil, Haiti have played like, I don't know, maybe 10 times. Brazil has never scored less than 6 goals against Haiti.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go Brazil minus 4.5 today. Because I don't think Haiti's going to score. I think it'll be like 5-0, 6. Well, trend will tell you 6-0.
4-5-0. What? Really?
They've never scored less than 6 goals against Haiti.
Well,
Haiti's not going to score.
Wow. All right. I like it.
That's what I'd load up on today.
All right. Well, you'll have your picks later on. St. Francis is here. The great.
They do not crave food nor drink for nourishment, for they exist solely on the glow of the all-22 monitors. They are the Leatherheads, and he is Franny Films.
There he is, St. Francis.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. It's a beautiful Friday. How's everything going down there?
Man, he's not feeling too well.
I'm not
He's got
feeling
the
well.
flu. Got the Albanian flu.
It's killing me because Sunday is Father's Day, our day, Fran.
Yeah.
And I was looking. I have no baseball this weekend, and I was looking forward to a dad day of relax. I was going to make crabs and spaghetti,
Nice.
all this stuff, and now I'm done.
You're cooked.
Cooked, no good. My whole week.
I see. I went the opposite. So I was thinking this morning, or I think it was yesterday. I was like, I'm gonna make something good. Maybe I'll put something on the smoker on Sunday or do something like that. Then I find my family, my wife and my son surprised me. We're going to the Phillies game on Sunday night. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm not gonna do anything on the smoker because I want to make sure we get down there early enough for the game and go to BP, all that stuff. So it'll be fun.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Going to the game. That's great, man.
Come on.
I love it. Father's Day at the Phillies.
That's right.
That's great, man.
Can't
that's
beat
very cool. Fran, let's get back because when last we spoke, we talked about Sorsby, right?
Yes, we did.
And now Sorsby is going to be available for the supplemental draft. So where do you line up on this thing? Because they are due diligence is the word. They're definitely interested.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that all 32 teams are going to have levels of interest in the player because you're going to be able to get him at what could be viewed as a discounted price. He is the way that I would sum it up in the cleanest form is that he is a day one physical talent, right? Like the tools are absolutely there. The tape, I would say, is probably more worthy of day two right now. And then when you factor in all the mess that comes with it, that's like day three stuff, undrafted stuff, right? So depending on how you put the pie chart there with those three factors, that's going to spit out what you think the most likely grade is. Now, I know that there have been some in the media that are, cover the NFL are like, oh, like second round pick, first round pick. I do not think that will happen. I would be very, very surprised if that's what happens. I think it is much more likely that the teams that are kind of that are swimming around on him, that it's more likely like a bunch of teams thinking about a 4. And then if it's a team that's like, hey, we know all the other teams are trying to get a 4th. Let's just get out. If we really love the player, we feel really good about him. Let's put in a 3. That would be the maximum that I would imagine for next year, just because of all the factors involved.
Yeah, it's interesting. Mike Garafolo thought it was a 2.
Yeah.
The 1, nobody's doing a 1. So nobody's doing a 1.
Here's where I struggle. If a team, if he and his camp thought that he would have been that he would have a second round value, he would have entered this draft, the 2026 draft, right? I think he got feedback day 3 or go back to school, right? And it was like, even with back channeling, like if he thought that he had a chance to go day 2, he would have come into this draft and he would have tried to go before Carson Beck. He would have been, second quarterback off the board potentially.
Really? Real quick, because I don't know if it was me, I'd take the $6 million.
I think that from what I gather, he was interested in coming into this class and taking advantage of a weak quarterback class was what I gather. And that if he had gotten the green light from the league in terms of like the feedback he had gotten, that he would have done it. But when they found out, and remember, like this isn't like he's had an agent for months, years now at this point. Once they found out that like it doesn't look like you'd be likely going on day 2, I personally feel so I would be surprised if a second round pick was spent on this player at this juncture.
Yeah, I kind of lean with you. I mean, I know Mike said 2. He's talking to GMs, but a lot of posturing goes on with this stuff.
Exactly right. I think people are saying like, oh, it'll take a 2 to scare, because basically how the supplemental draft works is that every team is split up into 3 tiers. It's the teams that I believe the number is 6 wins or fewer, right? So all those teams get jumbled up in one tier. Then it's all the non-playoff teams. That's a second tier. And then all playoff teams are a third tier. And so it's not the draft order that we saw in April. You take those 3 tiers, they get randomized, and then because now it's a blind bid situation. So you can't say like if you're the Eagles and like, hey, you know what, the Pittsburgh Steelers are probably going to place a bid on Mekhi Lemon. We got to trade ahead of him. You don't know who's drafting in front or behind you. So you basically have to say, this is how we value this player, and you basically get a message. Do you want to place a first round bid on this player or not? And then they say no. All right, now we go to the next team. Then we go to the next team. Then you go to the next team. So it's going to take place in July, which means the teams now have just under a month to really get their ducks in a row. The area scouts have already done all the work on Sorsby, because the word was out that he was thinking about entering the draft last year. So a lot of the groundwork has been laid. The big part of the evaluation and the valuation of this player now, do teams feel comfortable given what we know now? Because teams didn't know about the gambling stuff, back in the fall. They didn't know about the gambling stuff in January. They didn't know about it in February. I know that there's been some posturing that, Cincinnati knew. I don't buy that. Just knowing what we know about like college sports, like especially at Cincinnati, like we're not talking this is, like big time college program, like trying to vie for a championship. the chancellor at Cincinnati, the athletic director at Cincinnati, the president at Cincinnati, they're not sweeping that under the rug for one player to say like, oh, I'm flushing my whole career down the drain, because that's everybody's going down for something like that. So no, I don't think that was the case. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to watch it unfold.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with you. I don't think it's the case either. I don't think so. But yeah, it's like you have that way. I think the kid's good. Like, I agree with you in that I like the skill set. But he didn't show it. Why didn't he show it?
Yeah, I mean, the guy is in 2 seasons as a starter, has never won a game past Halloween. There's like he's got lots of tools. There's the flashes.
He's mobile. He's big. He throws
he's
a
big.
nice
He's
ball.
strong. He's athletic. He's got a good arm. Not a great arm. He's got a good arm. He's really athletic. He can make plays outside of structure. He can make throws with touch. He can attack all 3 levels of the field. Like, the flashes are excellent. What he was asked to do in that Cincinnati offense was like fairly rudimentary. Like, it was not tasked with like breaking down defenses, and like doesn't know how to watch film yet, from what I understand. Like, so you're starting which is fine. Like, we see that with college quarterbacks, right? Like, Patrick Mahomes didn't know how to read a defense when he was coming out either, right? Like, that happens, but that adds a layer of uncertainty. So when we're talking about like the projection for this player, you would say like, all right, like you have your normal set of projection and uncertainty, on top of the fact, like, if he has a relapse, like, he's done for a year. Here's what I'm very interested in. And I think that this is actually pivotal for how teams will try and value him by the time we get to next month. I bet that a lot of general managers right now are trying to figure out, will the NFL penalize Brendan Sorsby upon entering the league? Like, right now, like, is he going to walk in and get a 6-game suspension, a 1-year suspension, something along those lines? Because let's say it's a 1-year suspension, right? That actually makes it clean, and I think that actually ups the level of suitors, because not only are teams looking at, we would add this guy into our quarterback room. The idea that he would make an impact year 1 is silly.
No,
he's
right.
missed the entire spring and summer, so
Right.
he's not getting to your team until training camp. If you could say like this is essentially going to be a redshirt year for him, and we could put him on ice on the suspension list, now a team like Philly would make sense, because all right, well, Andy Dalton's on an expiring deal. Tanner McKee's on an expiring deal. We drafted Cole Payton. Well, now next year you have Jalen Hurts, Cole Payton, and Brendan Sorsby. That's your QB room. That's your quarterback room. That makes sense. But if it's going to be a 2-game suspension or something along those lines, which is what it looked like it was going to be, now I just don't know how they make the math work if you are the Eagles and say like, all right, like, we just drafted Cole Payton, you gave money to Dalton, you've got McKee, like, you're going to throw another name into there? Like, that's to me, like, it's a very crowded room. And that's the case with the majority of quarterback rooms right now. But if they find out, hey, like, the NFL gives him a big suspension, that actually makes it a little bit easier, a little bit more palatable for these teams to make that choice.
Yeah, it's a great point. A great point, because you can carry
Is there
them.
precedent for them suspending players based on college gambling?
Yes. So not on the gambling, but so Terrell Pryor, when he came into the league from Ohio State, he was a 3rd-round pick by the Browns, and it was Tattoo-gate, right? Like, it was like, oh, he received free tattoos, he and teammates, and so he came to the league so long ago, like, it's a different world, right? And it was like he was going to be deemed ineligible for, I think it was for half the college football season, so it's for 6 games. So the NFL, they gave him a 6-game suspension, the same, because basically what they want to deter against is a player getting ineligible in the NCAA and just using the NFL as a fallback option. We're like, no, like, you're going to miss the same amount here. So the fact that the NCAA didn't give an official ruling, it was just like, yeah, you're ineligible until like we can sort through all this. I think that does make it cloudy. Here's what makes it more difficult though, VG, is that, like, the gambling stuff works in tiers, right? Like, it's like first strike, second strike, third strike. If they start him at a year suspension, there's only one way to go from there, right? So you have one mess up, you have one relapse. Is it 2 years, or is it like you're out? Like, it's a
2-strike thing.
That makes it tricky.
Yeah. Something tells me they do not do that.
Yeah, I don't think it goes heavy. I don't think that it would go a year, but if they did, I think it would make it clearer for teams to in terms of what the valuation would be.
Yeah, and I do agree with you. It is cleaner because you can carry them. There's no it's perfect for that.
I mean, if you're a team like the Steelers, why not? I mean, they're struggling to find a quarterback for 8 years now. It feels like might as well throw.
That's the thing is that like they just spent they're it's similar to the Eagles where you brought back Rodgers, you have a veteran backup in Mason Rudolph, you just drafted a kid in the 4th round, Drew Aller from Penn State, and you drafted a kid that you supposedly liked, that they were floating him as a potential starter as a day 3 pick last year, Will Howard from Ohio State. So it's like they've got 4 quarterbacks right now. It's the same deal as the Eagles, where it's like, yeah, like in an ideal world, I'd love to. I'll spend a 3rd round pick on this kid, but now you've got a quarterback room with 5 guys in it, and when you do this as well, next the quarterback class, I don't want to go overboard and say like, oh, there's 7 first-round picks next year. But it's a good landscape, right? Like the runway, there's a good pipeline of young talent at the position in college football right now. So you are saying, you know what? We're going to take a gamble on this kid. Probably not a bad choice of words maybe on my part, but we're going to take a gamble on this kid and give up a chance because we're spending a pick for next year on that class when we have a full runway of getting to know those players, a whole pre-draft process. Now that all gets truncated into a couple weeks. Like they're gonna have it sounds like there's gonna be like a pro day. All 32 teams will be down there at some high school down in Texas. But like there's no combine interview. There's no like the top 30 visits and campus visits and all the Zoom calls. Like all of that gets truncated into a very short span. So teams are not gonna be able to do the same level of legwork that they would do for a normal draft prospect.
Although I can tell you that they've already done a lot.
Oh, they're doing the work, no question. Yeah, you're doing the work, but it's you don't get to sit with it as long as you do in the
right. You're right. What do you? How many guys do you think next year? Who do you think comes out early next year? Any of those other guys come out early?
I think Arch. This will be the year for Arch Manning to come out. I don't even think he needs to like win the Heisman or win the Natty to.
No,
I think if we expect linear improvement, I would guess that he would be out. I think I'm just pulling up my list real quick. I think Dante Moore from Oregon. This will be 4 years for him. My guess is he would be out. Darian Mensah from Miami. I would imagine that this would be the year when he would declare as well. Lenora Sellers. Now, here's the thing. All of these names, I just rolled off 4 guys. All of them are in their 4th year in college, but they have another year of eligibility because they all redshirted their first years on campus. Well, more redshirted his 2nd year, but all these guys redshirted. So they have another year on top of this year if they want it. And that's why, we got all kind of ahead of our skis last year talking about the 2026 class because a lot of these names that I'm talking about, we were talking about last year. We were talking about last year. We were talking about Lenora Sellers last year. So all of these players, probably going to be next spring, but also could decide to go back. If Sellers has a bad year, South Carolina goes 3-9, he's going to transfer and he's going to go to Texas Tech next year, and he'll be a high pick the year after. So probably. So, but you're talking like Sam Levitt, same deal from now at LSU, previously at Arizona State. There are a handful of other names that people are talking about. That I think that's kind of the core group for me. Some people really like the kid Mateer from Oklahoma. I'm not quite there on him.
I hate Mateer. I'm sorry. I just do not see it.
Yeah, I don't.
He can't throw.
I
don't see it. He's so horrible mechanics and nothing I like about him as a thrower.
I wrote down he's a faster Tebow.
Yeah. Yes. I had Tebow. I wrote down Tebow. Yes.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of love out there for Julian Sand from Ohio State. I don't think that he's that level of player personally. There's some love out there for the USC quarterback Jaden Mayava. But there's the Minnesota's got a quarterback, Drake Lindsay, that people are high on. I didn't mention Trinidad Chambliss. This is his final year. He will definitely be in next year. There's a lot of talented players. So that's what I mean is if you have to feel super convicted on Sorsby with all the gambling stuff and knowing you have the on-field projection as well, and then you're giving up a pick for next year, which potentially could be in this class. You know what I mean? That's why if someone put a 2nd round pick, that would be really, really surprising for me.
Yeah, you make a compelling argument for it, and you're right now. When we talk about next year, why wouldn't these kids stay another year and get $5 to $6 million? All those kids that have Now Archie's different because Archie's not about the money. I can see him wanting to go play and all. But the other guys, why wouldn't you want it? Like, why wouldn't you want that?
I've made that argument with you. To me, like I felt this way now for 2-3 years. Pretty much all these guys should just go back for exhaust every single ounce of eligibility, play every single game you possibly can. Because once you enter the league, the clock starts on you in that town, and we've seen like Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, and those guys can play their way out of it, but that's on year 2 or team 2, team number 3, right? Like you want to go somewhere, you want to be a high pick, you want to hit the ground running, put yourself best foot forward. Go and exhaust every single ounce of eligibility you can, get every single ounce of game experience you can. You're getting paid handsomely to do it now. Just go and do it. And so, yeah, that honestly, like if it were me advising any of these players, that would be what I would say. People kind of criticize Dante Moore for making that call this spring. After 1 year starting at Oregon, he started a handful of games for Chip Kelly at UCLA a couple of years ago as a true freshman. But for a 1.5 year starter, no, go back to school. And it's like, well, he's passing. What happens if he has an okay year and now he goes at the end of the first round, or he goes in the second round instead of going in the top 5? If he goes number 2 behind Fernando Mendoza, yeah, but he's not setting himself up for long-term success in that situation, right? Like to me, like go back, set yourself up for the long term. So now that it's not necessarily the first contract, you're playing for the second contract. You're trying to get that's where the big like generational, like your family changes forever years down the line kind of money comes from. So for me, that's the advice I would give all those guys.
If you're a first rounder, you got to come out. I mean, you're guaranteed money for 4 years. It's guaranteed $15 to $20 million if you're in the back end. You got to come out because you don't know what could happen in college.
What do you mean?
With the guys getting paid now, like you take the insurance. If you take the insurance in case like it's a medical thing that happens. For a lot of people have said like, oh well, what about guys like Matt Barkley? It's like, oh, like he would have been a first round pick if he had come out, and then he came out and he wasn't. I think that a lot of those guys, like if Matt Barkley had come out the year before, instead of being a 4th round pick by Chip Kelly in 2013, my guess is he would have been a 4th round pick in 2012, right? Like I think that for the most part, the guys that were they get drafted in the general range of where they would have been drafted the year before.
Yeah, I'm with Fran here. I disagree with you.
I'm looking at $6 million for a year in college or a guaranteed $20 million. If I'm a first rounder, I'm taking a guaranteed $20 million. I mean,
but you can get that $20 million next year. And again,
maybe unless I have a horrible year, I have
a
career-ending injury, I'm stink. I mean, you never know. Things happen.
I completely disagree. A guy like Sellers, like I look at a guy like Sellers, take the money, stay in college as long as you get. Take the money.
There's to me like there are two like ends of the spectrum. There are guys that are like super toolsy, like Anthony Richardson, right? Like Anthony Richardson should have gone back to school to get more time on task, right? He had 1 year as a starter, clearly was not ready to be able to step into the NFL. Like he should go and get it. But then there's also the guys that are on the other end of the spectrum from a tool standpoint, right? Like I think of like Cade Klubnik, right? Cade Klubnik is a great example of this. Cade Klubnik, who's the quarterback at Clemson the last 3 years, was a senior. So he was out of eligibility. It's not like he could have gone back, but he's going to be like a marginal tools, more of like pocket passer, like pure pocket passer. So if that's how you're going to live in the NFL,
he's undersized.
You've got to be nails from the pocket. You've got to be great with hand, operating with bodies around you, your mental processing, going through progressions, like the whole deal. Well, rather than trying to learn on the fly and doing that in the NFL, do as much of that as you can in college. Like go whatever. If you think that's at Clemson, great. If you think it's somewhere else, great. Go and do that. So I think that guys on both ends of the spectrum benefit from just exhausting that eligibility. Whether it's guys that maybe have all the tools and need to be more refined, or the guys that don't have it and just need to be really, really sharp mentally. You can make the case either way.
Yeah, I'm with you. The other guy we were talking about is Ruggs. Now I know his parole got denied, but apparently his lawyer's working on something. He could be free at some point soon. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, he was a great player when he was on the field. So it's without knowing like all the details there in terms of like timelines and things like that. I mean, he was he was a great player, and by all accounts, like everything that I had heard about him when he was coming out through that draft process was like, yeah, like a good kid that people like being around in the locker room and things of that nature. And obviously, it was a horrible thing that he did and that happened. And it's it's tough to say. Again, great player. He was a phenomenal player on the field, explosive. It was a big play waiting to happen anytime he stepped on the field.
Last thing, I guess which is not uncommon, but because you're putting in a new offense and it's the spring, it's impossible. But a lot of people are saying about the quarterbacks, all of them really kind of struggled in the spring, which is to be expected. But they all kind of, particularly the guys behind Jalen too.
Yeah, and that's like there's two sides of that, right? Where it's not only is your offense, you're learning a new offense, but in a typical year, let's say you're returning the same offensive scheme, and typically the defense is usually ahead of the offense this time of year anyway. Just like in terms of like getting together and like to where you're at schematically. If you're trying to throw new offensive terminology and putting guys in positions that they haven't been in before, that's to be expected. So I'm not overly worried about that.
Franny, happy Father's Day, buddy.
You too.
Happy Father's Day,
all right, we love you, buddy. You're the best.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll talk soon. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Thanks, buddy. There he is, the great St. Francis, Franny Films. Coming up, Corey Sideman.
Corey.
I love our Fridays with Corey. He's coming up next. First, we have a word from our friends. Let's talk about the Bet Park Soccer Fest. It continues today. That's it. Starting at 1 o'clock. USA. They're going to put together the big watch party for 3 o'clock this afternoon. USA versus Australia. And the sports books got it all covered. Go watch it. The incredible 156-foot high-definition video wall for the ultimate viewing experience at Parks Casino. Joining the fun, featured matches, chances to win, play game. You got prizes and giveaways, all kinds of great stuff. Check out the World Soccer Hub on the Bet Parks app for daily odds boosts, player and team props, and you name it. The Bet Parks Sportsbook at Ben Salem and Parks and Casino in Ben Salem today, 1 o'clock. Right off the exit of Street Road, in the PA Turnpike, betparks.com has all the details. Got to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Maryland. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wawa's got tacos. Tacos. Oh, Wawa expanding its freshly prepared food lineup with new seasoned beef tacos available for a limited time. Built to deliver bold, craveable flavor in every bite. We're talking warm, soft tortillas filled with Wawa's savory, juicy, boldly seasoned beef, plus fresh toppings that you can customize your way. You got options too, from seasoned beef, chicken, steak, black beans, shredded cheddar cheese. Pick up 2 spreads like salsa roja, garlic aioli, barbecue, ranch, buffalo, chipotle, and you top it off with shredded lettuce, salsa, fire-roasted corn, onions, or pickled jalapenos, all packed in a 6-inch soft flour tortilla, making it perfect handheld or on-the-go option. Seasoned beef tacos doesn't stop, all right? It's available across the full lineup, including burritos, bowls, and quesadillas, so you can mix and match and build the meal that fits your appetite. But don't wait. The lineup is only here for a limited time while supplies last. Next time you're at Wawa, grab a taco and find your new go-to.
He's the man. This for the fans. Corey Sideman. Corey Sideman.
There he is. We say, Core. Happy Friday, buddy.
Happy Friday, guys. Happy Father's Day to you and to all those who celebrate. And weird little Friday off day for the Phils, huh? This is
weird,
like a playoff series where you have the game and then a day off in between the series.
Weird schedule. Why is that? By the way, happy Father's Day to your dad. Great man, your father. Why is that?
It's gonna be World Cup action. Can't have all those people down there.
Yeah, it's because of the World Cup situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, but beyond that, though, I mean, the fact that it's late June and this is the first time these teams have played, like that was our first look at the Mets last night. This feels pretty strange, and it shouldn't be this way. I mean, ever since baseball went to this balanced schedule between the other, where you face every other team. Now, I'm not saying you got to go back to playing the division rivals 19 times a season, but we're almost at the midpoint now, and you don't even know what the Mets have to offer.
No, it's weird. You're right. It's bizarre. Core, man, I know we went over the Painter stuff, and then all of a sudden, everything dropped to hell. What can you do? And what are you hearing about? Obviously everything's based off his fastball, but what are you hearing about how he can get that back?
Well, they obviously want to move slowly with him, Andrew Painter, because it doesn't even sound like he's going to make like his next scheduled start at AAA. It sounds instead like they're going to have him do some side sessions and try to work on things. And the fastball command and the shape of the fastball and the effectiveness of the fastball is the most important thing for them. And, I can't remember if I said it to you guys or on our show with Jamie a few weeks ago, but when you have a straight fastball like that doesn't have like premium velocity, maybe you have to think about doing some other things with it. Maybe you have to think about cutting the fastball or doing, just altering the look for hitters, because they've been so comfortable against that pitch all season long, really from his first start of the season. Like, he isn't missing bats with the fastball. He's not placing it where he wants to, Andrew Painter. And he also just doesn't look like the same pitcher that he was pre-Tommy John surgery, which might be, the most important like fact or opinion of this all, because Phillies fans were about 5 years ago, they were soured by the experience of Spencer Howard, who was a big time pitching prospect coming up. They heard about him for years. Then he arrived and it was like, well, where's the upside? Where's the part we're supposed to see in this guy? And it's been very similar with Andrew Painter. And Painter a few years ago was a much better pitching prospect than Spencer Howard. But I don't know if he is at this point. Like, at this point, he's a guy who throws he's a guy who throws 96 in a league full of guys who throw 98. And pitching him every fifth day right now was not helping Painter, and it was not helping the Phillies. He was just getting shelled every time out. So the hope is that he's one of the guys in a long list of pitchers who goes down to the minors and figures things out with like a second stint down there. But that's no guarantee. Like, just because it's happened with some high profile pitchers over the years doesn't mean it's going to happen with Andrew Painter. But the Phils are crossing their fingers and hoping so. But, I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see him much in the second half of the season, because they're going to go out and get a starting pitcher. And if they go out and get a starting pitcher, where's the role for him on the major league team unless someone gets hurt?
Wow. Who do you think they get? Like, are they going to look at, are we talking a decent frontline starter or Tyson Mahle?
I think it's more likely the Phillies go after one of these inexpensive rentals. I mean, there's different tiers of rentals. Like, there's the top tier of rentals, Sonny Gray and Robbie Ray and Casey Mize. There's like that mid tier of rentals, which would be Zach Gallen, Brady Singer, Michael Soroka of the Diamondbacks. And then there's that bottom tier of rentals, which is like the Rockies pitchers, Gargano and Michael Lorenzen and guys like that. Jack Flaherty.
I think that's where they're shopping.
Yeah, and based on recent history, like, it could be a Lorenzen type. It wouldn't shock me if it was exactly Lorenzen again.
His ERA is like over 7, isn't it?
Yeah. I think he's the only guy in baseball with a higher ERA than Andrew Painter. So maybe that's not the ideal target. But I think it's going to be someone you can just acquire cheaply for like international bonus pool money or cash or a meaningless prospect. And because that guy's not sniffing the playoffs anyway, like the number 5 starter, it doesn't need to be a high end guy. It just needs to be someone who gets you through the remaining, 16 starts in that spot, 17 starts.
Yeah, it's interesting. You got to do better than that. What happened to Flaherty, man? Flaherty's off the table.
Yeah, he just can't control anything. Every start, it's like a 3-1 count. He's had a couple good ones mixed in there. He's missing a lot of bats this season, but he just is behind in every count, and he has to come over the middle and gets hit hard. He's having a similar season, honestly, to Aaron Nola. And that's the other part of this, is that Aaron Nola, like, moving forward, you really don't know what he is. Is he going to be Taijuan Walker moving forward, Aaron Nola? So when you think about boosting this rotation for the second half of the season, you're also going to need at least one starting pitcher going into 2027 in addition to what you have, because who knows what Painter is going to provide? Who knows what Nola is going to provide? And you don't want to be in this position again where there's so little organizational depth to start a game, to make a spot start.
Oh, my God. It's amazing. They have nothing at AAA. Nothing.
They came into the year, they had Gene Cabrera, who was like one of their top pitching prospects, not like a a guy who jumps off the page, but like one of those mediocre short
Yeah.
right-handers you think might be like a number 5 starter. But he stunk this season at AAA. Like he had an ERA near 8 himself, and he ended up getting demoted to AA. But that was a guy that I was looking at entering the season, and you identified him as a potential spot starter with decent, moderate upside compared to the Bryce Wilsons of the world or Alan Ron Hell. Phillies called up Bryce Wilson, but they used him in relief last night, which might tell you that they're going to just go with a bullpen game the next time that this Painter spot comes up. But that's not, honestly, it's not going to put them in a worse position than they were in, because Painter was setting them back. Like they were down 5-0 in like the third inning of every one of his starts.
Yeah, I mean, now listen, I'll take what Nola gave me last night. I'll take that every time, but the problem is you can't count on that. And now you got 2 spots. That's the thing about, if you're going to shop in the Lorenzen aisle, what are you doing? Like, you're going to have 2 guys. First of all, to your point, you said this before, you have to switch up the rotation now. And you got to put Nola in between Wheeler and Sanchez, because you're otherwise you're blowing your bullpen. You're going to blow them up.
Yeah, it's very true, especially if they're going to go with a bullpen game now for 1 or 2 stints through the rotation, because you don't want to be emptying your full bullpen the day after a Nola game when you might have needed 3 or 4 relievers. That's
right.
easier to do. That's easier to do now, to adjust the scheduling of the rotation with Painter out of it. Phillies could, figure out based on off days when they utilize that bullpen game to get the rotation on track. But I agree that the Lorenzen aisle is not appealing. It's not going to move you like forward in a meaningful way. The one thing it does, though, is that at least, like, I'm not saying him in particular, but if you get a guy like that as Zach Gallen, who's not having a good season either, or
right.
like Flaherty, at least you're getting through 5 innings. At least you're doing the very baseline that the starter needs to provide, because these have been like 2 and 3 inning starts lately from Painter.
Oh, man, this is where we're at. Give me 5 innings. That's where we're at.
Bullpen games with a bullpen that stinks is not optimistic. I'm not feeling good about bullpen games.
Yeah, well, they just optioned Tanner Banks, who was like a big part of this bullpen, because
he was great last year.
Jose Alvarado. Oh my goodness.
Dude, he's horrible. Keller stinks. It's amazing. They put a lot of money into this bullpen, and we all thought, I thought it was going to be good. It's horrible. It stinks.
Well, Alvarado, who gave up 3 runs last night, pretty much cost the Phillies the game. Like, he just, from my perspective, he no longer has that intimidation factor. Like, he used to come into games and it was, wow, this guy throws 99 and can cut it, and can sink it, and especially on lefties, like the weirdness of the delivery, and opposing teams were off balance and were swinging and missing or being super late on their contact. But it just hasn't been the case with Alvarado at all this season. His ERA's 6.5, especially these teams like the Mets or the Braves that see him a lot just seem to have no issue with him. And I'm worried about it, because what happens come playoff time? Like, come playoff time, even if Sanchez and Wheeler give you 7 innings of 1-run ball, you still need someone to pitch you through the 8th inning. Or what if the starter doesn't complete 7? Then you need people to get you through the 7th and 8th. And Joan Duran can't pick up more than three outs. So that is a big time spot they need to fill. Figure out who's going to be your setup, man, because Alvarado hasn't done the job. Brad Keller has not done the job that well. And Orion Kirkering has done pretty well, but I don't think that's enough. You need another bullpen piece, whether it's from the left or right side.
Alvarado just looks like he's lost his edge, his suspension and stuff. He doesn't even come in with the same bravado anymore. And even afterwards, where I don't know, maybe it was before when they were asking him about people hitting them, he's like, well, they're just used to people throwing 100 now. I used to have an edge. Now everyone throws 100. They're just used to hitting it now. But I don't know. There's something that he used to come in with an intimidating aura about him when he got up there. A little wild, but still intimidating. But that's gone right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I see the same thing. And he's such a confidence-based player. Like, I know that's a cliche because most people and players are driven by confidence. But with Jose Alvarado, it's more than most. Like, you've seen it over the years. When things are going well for him, he's able to create momentum and push that forward for weeks or months at a time. And when things are not going well for him, they really tend to cascade. But you need him. Like, there's nothing you can do with him. You're not sending him back to AAA. You're not trading him or releasing him or anything like that. You need him to be one of your big bullpen pieces, because you're not adding multiples of late inning relievers. You might add one, and hopefully that guy pans out. But it's going to be hard to even acquire that, because every contending team is going to want bullpen help. So, like if you wanted to roll this Chapman, who's probably going to be the top reliever on the market, that might be the most expensive guy that you acquire. So they've got to really figure out. The good thing about this is, And you don't ever want to say a good thing with an injury, but the blessing in disguise is that with Adolis Garcia out for the season, it forces them to act quicker in the outfield. And with Andrew Painter optioned to AAA, it forces them to act quicker in the rotation. And with the bullpen struggling, it forces them to do that sooner as well. You know, it would have been maybe if all these guys were producing, the Phillies could have maybe talked themselves into getting close to the trade deadline and not thinking they needed much more. But they do need much more.
Here's the problem. You're right. They need a ton, but do they have enough to buy it? Because, again, the prospects, I mean, what are we looking at? I mean, prospect-wise. I mean, assuming Gage Wood is ticketed up here to be a bullpen piece for the playoffs, right? Like, that's how I would look at Gage Wood. Gage Wood comes up here and you throw him out of the bullpen. Who you got?
Well, they have, the guys that we know about at the top, like Gage Wood and Aiden Miller and, Francisco Renteria, the 17-year-old kid, and there's Dante Nori. But none of those guys, other than Gage Wood, is going to be the centerpiece of a package for a big player. Like
no, you got a 17-year-old, and then you got a light-hitting outfield, and you got a guy with a bad back.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
And the Phillies have thinned their prospect pool in recent years because while they haven't made that, splash trade for the hitter, they've got, they got Duran, that was a big move. But like the guys they've traded away, Mick Abel, Eduardo Tait, who was their top catching prospect. They traded Ben Brown, who's been pretty good for the Cubs, to get David Robertson a couple deadlines ago. The guys they traded to the Angels. They've given up a lot of prospects over the years without giving up their top guys. But then those top guys, prospect-wise, have all significantly decreased in value this season. Like Painter's not the paint. You know what's funny? I'm thinking back to this yesterday that Spencer Howard, when his value fell so far, you remember what the Phillies traded him for? They traded Spencer Howard for 1.5 years of Kyle Gibson. That's what that turned into.
Wow, Gibby.
Yeah. So, I'm not saying that Andrew Painter has bottomed out to that extent and they've lost confidence in him to that extent, but that might be the way the league values Andrew Painter at this point. It's like, oh, yeah, we'll give you a number 5 starter for 1.5 years for your guy who was a top prospect in all of baseball a year ago or 2 years ago. But it's just not the same thing.
What is it? Like Spencer Howard, all we heard about was, oh, my God, Spencer Howard. And he was horrible. He couldn't run the first base without eating the peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah. He just didn't have the stuff. I mean, he didn't have the stuff or like the bulldog mentality that a lot of Spencer Howard didn't have the stuff or like that bulldog mentality that you want starting pitchers to have. So early on, it didn't look like he was going to make it. Honestly, I hate to say something that negative, but with Painter, I don't see like the nervousness or anything like that, or that he physically doesn't look like he belongs, but he's just not the same. He doesn't have the same arsenal he had pre-Tommy John, and he's probably been trying to continue to pitch like the pre-Tommy John version of himself.
But I want to ask you about that, the Tommy John. To be fair, could you hang in one sec? We just have to take care of business, and I want to ask you about the Tommy John piece of it. But first, a message from our friends, VG.
From soccer tournaments down at the South Philly complex to baseball games happening right in your own backyard, summer sports are officially in full swing across Philly. And whether you're getting ready to cheer on your favorite team or getting the kids geared up to hit the field, Dick's Sporting's Good is your one-stop shop for everything you need this season. We're talking jerseys, fan gear to rep your team, plus all the equipment, the gloves, cleats, bats, balls, everything you need for whatever sport you're playing this summer. And it's super easy too. Just stop by your local Dick's Sporting Goods store anywhere around the Philly area, or just shop anytime you want at Dicks.com. This Saturday, June 20th, former U.S. men's soccer legend Tony Meola will be signing autographs from 3 to 4:30 p.m. at the Dick's Sporting Goods at the Deptford Mall. So, before the next big game, whether you're heading to the stadium or just out back with friends, make sure your first stop is Dick's Sporting Goods because summer starts here.
Elkin Chevrolet, run by 3 brothers, real brothers, local guys, great guys, and right now they're lining up deals that are very hard to beat. They got a huge inventory of Chevy trucks and SUVs, everything people actually want to drive, Equinoxes, Trailblazers, Tahoe Suburban, Silverados, and the prices, well, they're going to move fast. If you've been thinking about it, now's the time. Whether it's getting to a game, getting to work, or just getting out of town for a bit to maybe watch the Sixers or Flyers play, you'll drive off in the perfect ride at the perfect price. And here's the thing. This isn't just a one-and-done kind of place. These are the guys you go back to again and again because they treat you right. No runaround, no games, no haggling, no hassles, just real people, real deals. Elkin Chevrolet, real brothers, real deals,
and a whole lot of honking good service going on. Super easy to get to Route 73 South in Marlton. Elkin Chevrolet.
All right, back live with our man, Corey Sideman. Does a great job covering the fightings. So what have you been told about the Tommy John? Because when guys come back from Tommy John, they usually throw harder. I talked to a doctor about this for a story a little while ago, a while back, and he was saying it's really kind of an illusion. It doesn't make you throw harder. All it does is it makes you throw to what your capability was. That's what it does. It's not a magic pill that makes you throw harder. It just allows you that kind of health to throw what you were going to throw. How come his hasn't worked?
Yeah, well, so exactly what you just said, and usually it's because the guy was not healthy before it. So now all of a sudden he's throwing at full strength in a way that he was not pre-Tommy John. That has become like a baseball cliche that like you come back, you throw harder. A lot of times the guy's better, and especially 2 years after Tommy John. So not that first year, but the second year, which for Andrew Painter should be 2026. There also, though, are some recent examples of pitchers having elbow surgery and not coming back nearly the same. Sandy Alcantara, who was just here in Philadelphia, has not been close to the same pitcher since his Tommy John surgery. Spencer Strider, who had the internal brace procedure, which is instead of the Tommy John, has not been nearly the same pitcher since. Both of them have had diminished velocity and haven't been trying to figure out how to pitch around it. And I just think with Painter, that's the main key. This is a guy who was throwing 99 miles per hour in 2023 when he was vying for a Phillies rotation spot. And he's not throwing 99 anymore. He's throwing 96, and it's a huge difference. So everything plays off of that. Like it creates bigger separation between that pitch and your breaking ball and your changeup or your splitter. So he doesn't have as much of that. And I just think it comes down to like a confidence thing right now. Like he's probably going out there feeling like he has to locate every one of his pitches in a perfect place in order to not get bashed around. And when you're doing that, you're missing the zone a lot. And it's stuck out to me since day one with him this season that a lot of his misses outside the zone are completely uncompetitive. They're pitches that are balls out of the hand that a hitter's not going to chase in a million years. And that's evidenced by his very low chase rate. Like Painter's chase rate is, I think, one of like the 25 lowest in all of baseball this season. So he's not really giving hitters, he's not enticing them to go outside themselves. And he needs just to go down to AAA, hopefully develop some confidence and figure out what to do with that fastball. And if that fastball is not going to enable him to have success, he needs to figure out a different plan of attack. Maybe he needs to be a breaking ball based guy. But this first version of Andrew Painter that we saw in 2026, pretty concerning.
Yeah, you can't abandon your fastball, though.
No, you can't. I mean, that's not a long-term strategy because if you're throwing 70 breaking balls, you're going to get hurt that way too.
Yeah, you can't do that. Man, that's what's scary. We go back to the deadline, and again, Trout went on the DL. You saw that. Yeah. Hamstring, back to the hamstring.
Trade for him now. Trade for him now.
I mean, I go, I don't know what they could afford. What's if you look at the Twins, like the Twins, we talk about Buxton and all these guys. You look at the Phillies. The Phillies don't have attractive packages.
Right.
So I don't know how it's going to change.
Yeah, I just again to go to the rental market. Like I think that a guy like Taylor Ward is probably the type of player you're getting, maybe the player you're getting, and he'd be better than Adolis Garcia, better than Derek Hill, better than Justin Crawford. He's not going to completely change the complexion of your lineup. He's the kind of guy who's going to come in and hit like maybe 250 with a 360 on base. Like he takes his walks a lot, but with Taylor Ward, for example, the Orioles have been a little annoyed at him this season that he's been so passive, taking so many pitches. So it's not like that's a perfect player, but
they got a bad leadoff too. Like if you're going to make that leadoff, I mean, I'm sure he's.
But he's been like ultra passive. Yeah, he's been like ultra passive, and I think that's because, to your point, I think he realized that he's not like the 35 home run hitter he was a few years ago. So he's trying to provide value in a different way offensively. But I just think it's going to be someone like that who you can get for the same type of package you traded for Austin Hayes a few years ago, and you just hope that guy comes in and makes enough of a difference. But like the Adolis, you can already now close the book on Adolis Garcia, the 1 year, $10 million signing. Obviously, you didn't know he was going to get hurt at midseason, but he did get hurt at midseason, and he wasn't having a very good year before it. So you can just add that to the list of failed 1 year deals here.
Kepler, All those guys are the same.
Merrifield.
Whiz Wit. Oh, God. Just horrible, Core. I don't know. I mean, I guess the last thing I'll ask you, because VG said this, and I'm shocked, but VG, who's a season ticket holder, feels very tepid toward this team, like kind of bored. I've heard this from other people, that they've lost the juice.
I skipped going to a game last night to go watch, stayed home and watch World Cup out with some friends.
Is it just because it feels stale with like the same cast of characters, or is it because like they don't inspire confidence that they can go all the way? Like, what do you?
Yeah, like right now, it's just as like they are what they are. They're a slightly above average team that beats up average teams. Might win a series or two against a good team if the rotations line up, but you know, it is what it is right now. I'm just waiting for something to change it. Like, we need a new cast member. Somebody's got to come in and spice it up a little bit.
They need Poochie. They got to bring in Poochie from the Simpsons show.
Simpsons.
But I kind of see the same thing, that, you know, the clear three top teams in the NL are the Dodgers, Braves, and Brewers, and the Phillies have played poorly against all three of those teams. Like, they went 2-4 against the Dodgers and Brewers, and 1-6 against the Braves. So that's 3-10 against the top three teams in the NL. So until they start winning games against quality teams, it's going to be hard to believe in them as like a legit contender in October. And they do have like the 6th or 7th best record in baseball, the Phillies, but that speaks more to how many just bad teams there are, or how many teams are not really trying their hardest to be a first place caliber team.
Yeah. Core, listen, what do you got on tap for the weekend?
Well, we got a show today coming up. Jamie and I were going to go into like the Bo Bichette sliding doors conversation, because it's kind of funny how identical Bo Bichette's numbers are to Alec Boehm this season, and he's making 5 times more money. So all that hand-wringing before the year, it might not have actually even made a difference. Then we obviously have the big tailgate tomorrow at the Mets game. And it's not all doom and gloom, because the Phillies do have Sanchez going Saturday, a real good chance to even up the series there against the Mets, and we'll see if they can pull this one out.
Do you believe that if Bichette was here, he hits?
I do. I do believe that if he was here, because of the cast of characters around him would have been much better, that he would have been more comfortable. It's also a much better place to hit. There have been a lot of balls he's hit to right center at Citi Field that have just kind of died in right center, because that's his approach. And I could have totally seen him having like 5 to 7 more home runs at this point with like the short dimensions in right field at CBP.
Yeah, I think so. We love you, Corey. You're the best. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
There he is, Corey Sideman. All right. Coming up on Love Philly, we're going to do, we got our man, the great TV Todd, and then we're going to preview in Seattle. Jared Nicholas is in Seattle, our World Cup guy.
Nice.
For the men's national team. It's amazing how you are just locked in.
Well, I'm countries versus country. I love the Olympics. I love World Cup. Yeah, I love this stuff.
You're locked in. It's cool. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. All right. Love Philly Hour coming up now.
Philadelphia doesn't pretend. Philadelphia is. It's not just a title of Philly. It's a feeling. It's a heartbeat. A city that never asked for permission to be itself. That's us, right? That's our personality. Philadelphia doesn't pretend. Philadelphia is. And now in 2026, the world comes back to Philadelphia. Not just to remember, but to celebrate. The show isn't just about what's happening. It's about who we are while it's happening. Because Philadelphia isn't a backdrop. It's a character. It's the voice that tells it like it is. The guy at the end of the bar who doesn't sugarcoat a thing. It's the family that's been on the same block for generations. It's the artist, the athlete, the builder, the believer. It's the lifer, the dreamers, the grinders. It's all of us. And that's what Love Philly's about. We're going to sit with people that make this place go. The ones who built it, the ones carrying it, the ones pushing it forward. The legends who left their mark. Not just the championships, not just the headlines, but the moments in between. The way the city shows up for itself, the way it refuses to be anything other than real. And through it all, we're going to remind ourselves and show the world what Philadelphia is. It's not just a stereotype. It's not a punchline. It's a foundation. It's a force It's a city that gave birth to a nation and never stopped building. So as the country turns 250 and the spotlight finds Philadelphia again, this is our moment to tell the story the right way. Not polished, not filtered, real, authentic, proud. Because this city just doesn't rise to the occasion. It defines it. This is Love Philly. Love Philly, brought to us by Wawa. Wawa loves Philly, and we love Wawa. On a beautiful Friday. It looks great out there.
Yeah. It'll be a good day today.
Yeah.
I don't know.
USA. Now,
all kinds of
Canada, I
geotechnical
guess they got it. Canada rolls yesterday. They got a red card, though.
Yes.
Does USA roll today?
I don't know. I haven't dug into that's the one game I really haven't. I think they'll get
one game you
over
don't do
2.5
USA?
goals. I don't know. I can't get a handle on it, man. Everyone said the Aussies were going to stink, and then they came out. They looked good against Turkey because people said Turkey was going to be good. So I don't know. I'm leaning in that one right now. I'm just leaning over 2.5 goals. I don't have a side yet. I mean, of course, I'm rooting for America, but as a betting, I don't know.
You don't have a side.
Pulisic might not be playing. I don't know, man.
Well, it didn't hurt him last week.
These Aussies look. They're I don't know.
You're afraid of Aussies?
I might be thinking a draw might be. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is bet over 2.5.
Oh no, you can't do that. I thought you were going to be laying a goal and a half.
No, I'm not laying a goal and a half. If anything, it's money line.
Really?
Yeah.
What is the
Hold on. Let me see what this money line is right now. Hold on, my printer's making.
No, I don't know. It's US like? Is it like? I'm coming to you. The one.
US is minus 160.
All right, it's a healthy favorite.
Yeah. Yes, they're a healthy favorite. I'm just saying. Sometimes I get these gut feelings where I'm just like,
Oh, you can't go against America. Come on, bro.
I'm not going against them. I'm betting both teams to score probably or over.
Jules, he's going against America.
No, I would never go against America.
Come on, man.
No. I mean, Anthony in the chat saying Australia stinks. That's what I heard. Yeah.
I trust Anthony.
Pulisic's hurt. Yeah, I know. It's tough out
if
there.
Australia stinks, what are you worried about?
They smoked Turkey. People told me Turkey's going to be formidable. They're going to be a tough out. Turkey's going to be a tough out, I heard.
Turkey. And they changed the way they spell it, too.
Yeah,
Turkey
I'm not down with that at all.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this. Let's take a quick TO. We're going to have Jared Mikolas on a little bit later on. But let's take a quick TO to talk about Team USA. He's out in Seattle. Take a quick TO. We'll come back with our man, TV Todd. And today, his theme, movies that have to do with Americana.
All right. I like it.
I like that. I like that a lot.
We'll see.
Movies that foster Americana. TV Todd coming up next. But first, a word from our friends.
The Bet Park Soccer Fest continues today with another World Cup soccer watch party. Today, start at 1 p.m. as the U.S. plays Australia. Today at 3 p.m. and U.S. going to roll. The Bet Parks app and Parks Casino have you covered in person and online. Nobody does live betting better than the Parks Online Casino, Sportsbook, and Casino app. Get to the Bet Parks Sportsbook at Parks Casino tonight, starting at 1 p.m. to win soccer jerseys, great swag, drink specials, and more. Catch every match live in the Bet Parks state-of-the-art sportsbook. Watch all the action on the incredible 156-foot high definition video wall for your ultimate viewing experience at Parx Casino. Join in the fun for featured matches and for a chance to play games, win prizes, and giveaways. And check out the World Soccer Hub on the Bet Parx app for daily odds boosts, player and team props, and more. The Bet Parx Sportsbook at Parx Casino in Bensalem, PA today, starting at 1 p.m. at Parx Casino in Bensalem, right at Street Road, exit off 95 on the PA Turnpike. Details at betparx.com. You must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And let's talk about Xfinity. Xfinity's got the 5-year price guarantee. What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, that like super high and super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense, and lets you stream the game even when the whole family's online. All your devices working in total perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment's always included. Take it from me. A lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won. Records are broken. Dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable. And the price should stay put. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Select plans only. Restrictions do apply. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Imagine it, man. Imagine it.
All right. The great TV Todd.
Act like a man. You can handle the truth.
It's time for TV Todd.
There he is. So let me ask you, buddy. You like the Wool move? Getting a solid backup, a 1B? Upgrade from first on?
Yeah, I mean, how do you not like that? I think it's it's a step up, and I'll tell you this. I've told your show about my conversation with the Washington Capitals goaltender before last season when he told us to watch out for Vladar. He's going to take over the Urson spot, and don't sleep on that guy. Well, I asked him the other day about the Wool trade, and he told me that now you have a solid tandem. He goes, I can't even say that Vladar is necessarily always going to be the number one. This guy gives you a solid 1A and 1B. So he thinks the Flyers are in great goaltending shape.
Nice.
I remember when he was all over Vladar.
Well, I said to him, you have credibility now because you called the Vladar thing way earlier than anybody else, and he's high on the Flyers tandem for this season.
Look at that, dude. Let's go. Let's go. Big week. Are you excited next week leading up to the
my
draft?
God, dude, so many rumors and things swirling from Matthews to Quinn Hughes to Larkin to Nurse to, I mean, it's going to be exciting.
I know, man. I'm pumped up. How about the Flyers off season that we're all geeked up over? Isn't that it's cool to have?
Love it.
It is. And you know what's great is I've been disappointed in so many recent off seasons. You kind of get excited about it, and then it's like, we didn't do anything. We didn't make a move. And this year, I think it's very, very different. I think we're going to be making at least one splashy move, maybe 2, maybe 3. Danny and Jonesy are cooking. There's no doubt about it.
They're cooking. I think Talk's helping out too.
They're cooking, baby, cooking.
It's fun. It's like we got really. I cannot wait till the puck drops in October.
I know it's going to be fun. I know, dude. I'm with you. So you something interesting. You said slow week. So let's go theme. And because it's Team USA, World Cup, the whole thing, we go Americana.
Yeah, listen, you've always thrown great themes at me, but last night when you suggested this, I had to really think about it because what is Americana? That's the first thing I had to think about. What does that really encompass? And to me, at least this is to me, to me, Americana is about not only our country and our historical events, but it's more about our culture. It's more
Yes.
about the culture as we get through the 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. It's about geographical regions, growing up, coming of age in certain areas. Like, it's a very broad topic, which was really fun for me to try to get my head around that and dial in the movies that I think define that. And when I look at the list that I put together, it's really some of my favorite movies of all time. So this was a really fun exercise.
Well, it's interesting because I'm a little slow, so bear with me. But I thought the same thing. I thought, because I was thinking about Americana, what it entails, right? Like what it's about, because you see these people coming over from Europe and all over the world, and they're falling in love with the culture, whether it's food, right? American culture is real. Like we have a real culture, right? Like what it's, the bigness of it, malls, like food, like all this stuff, it's young, it's a youthful country. So it doesn't have the old cities of Europe and all the ghosts. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting to kind of tackle that stuff. Like I think about You're Killing Me, Smalls. Like that movie is one of the great Americana, like great American films, right? It's kids, it's baseball, it's the Wendy Pfeffercorn, right? Like it's all that. Like it's coming of age and with a baseball backdrop.
It is. And it's funny you say that, because in my mind, I was trying to get my head around categories. So coming of age was one of the first one that came to mind to me. And immediately I rattled off a couple films in my brain that are coming of age Americana classic movies. And I know one of them is one of VG's favorite films. My favorite in that category, I could go through Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Malt, whatever. But my favorite in that category is American Graffiti. American Graffiti to me is one of the greatest films ever made. Like, I'm not a Star Wars guy. George Lucas made American Graffiti before Star Wars. And it is truly incredible and captures a moment of time from, these individuals, these kids in the 50s and, and then challenging into the 60s and going off to war and all kind, leaving high school and moving on with their lives. And first of all, the cast, insane. Ron Howard, Cindy Williams, Richard Dreyfuss, Harrison Ford. It goes on and on. These were like the first roles for these people. And American Graffiti to me really captures Americana culture. They did a sequel. I liked it because I like the whole American Graffiti thing. The sequel didn't move people a lot. That covered more of the Vietnam War. But American Graffiti itself is great. The other one in that category, which I know VG agrees with me, is Dazed and Confused.
Love
Dazed
it.
and Confused. That's Americana, 100%. What is it? It's Texas, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Texas in the 70s. And that really, Richard Linklater's, he's a great director in terms of capturing Americana. But Dazed and Confused is pretty much the one that does it in that category.
Totally agree with that.
That's a good one. That's excellent.
And then, thinking about just wrapping up that little topic, coming of age, the other one that I can't forget because it was so impactful and so captured a generation, a place, and a time based on an article that was written is Saturday Night Fever. Saturday Night Fever, I mean, man, talk about Americana. I mean.
So that came from an article?
Yeah. There was an article written, I can't remember where it was, New York Times or Vanity Fair or something, that was about, it was like the Kings of Saturday Night. And it was about these group of kids in New York City who were becoming like A-list celebrities in the world of disco and the disco craze. And they were like the A-listers rolling into, their local disco, and they were treated like royalty. And the article was written about that, and that's what the movie was based on.
Wow, that's wild. That's I never knew that was based off an article, which makes perfect sense because they were, like you see from time to time with our culture, whatever it is, these people become, rock stars, right? Like in all walks of life. So here you have these kids in New York City were dancing and they become these celebrities.
Right.
We've
And
always been a celebrity country.
We have. And that movie though, is very dark and very dark in a lot of ways. So, but what's very interesting about this, I've tried to think, I don't think any movie has ever been released like this. When the movie came out, it was so popular and gave us all that kind of glimpse into lives that we weren't leading at the time. It was so popular that when the rated R version came out, which was, pretty edgy for the time, they've also released a PG-13 version in the theaters as well. So you could take your family to see the PG version, or you can go to the rated R version. I remember this, and I've never heard of another movie that ever did that.
Wow.
What did they take out? Do you remember what they took out?
They took out a lot of the profanity. They took out the sex scene. There was a sex scene like in the back of a car. They took out a lot of the more graphic references, and they left in the whole idea of these guys. They were going nowhere in life, but they were stars at the disco. And it's really fascinating. And they dealt with, coming of age things like, pregnancy and, depression and suicide and all that stuff. But they cleaned it up for a PG-13 audience. That's how popular that film was.
Saturday Night Fever PG. That's nuts. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
What else did you?
Another category you touched upon it, Sandlot, right? Sports, Americana, right? The other the film I did that too. I thought of that film, but I thought of all the sports films that are out there, my God, we could spend days, right? What's the biggest one about Americana to me is Field of Dreams. I mean, I don't know how you could ignore that in that category. It captures everything about baseball that is Americana, right? The passion for baseball, the how important it is in some of our lives, and the connection we have, the human connection with our family and friends. And I mean, I just think it's the perfect Americana sports movie.
Yeah, yes, yeah, without a doubt. I thought of two Friday Night Lights.
That's on my list. That was the next one on my list.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm curious if mine's on either one of your lists. I always have to go with Buttermaker and Bad News Bears.
Oh,
I
think with Little League and stuff, it's the best. I love Buttermaker.
That's a good. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
That's like my coach back in the day. The old drunk guy being your coach. It's like, yep.
You know what? It really is. It's not. You're right. Like, how about the kid? That movie was brilliant. Like, you think back, I'm living it right now with my kids, right? But like Kelly Leak was the remember the kid?
Kelly Leak, of course.
Yeah.
The Tatum O'Neal, like the original that we're talking about, the original with Walter Matthau.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
the original also think about it. Also talk about Americana. Think about our sensibilities, how they've changed. The original movie had profanity in it. It was a little bit edgy, but that's how kids talk. That's how kids talked when they were that age, and how parents talked and acted when they were that age. Then we fast forward and we see the remake of that movie, and it's sort of whitewashed in a way because Americans, we can't handle, profanity or real life or any edginess. But you go back and you watch that original one, even today, that holds up as very accurate to what you hear on the Little League baseball field.
Dude, like you should see, let alone football, the kids, my wife, you know what's funny? Tam was like, yeah, she was like kind of put off by the football culture, right? Like she was like, because one of the coaches, who's a friend of mine, was talking to his kid, right? And I'm like, you can't really, and she overheard him call him, listen, you MFer, you P, this, that, the other thing. But like, they were just kind of going at it, and the kid saying back to the father and all. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like, and she thought it was, this is so, out of bounds. I'm like, no, man, this is kind of what it is. This is real life. And in baseball, that's how those kids talk. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Isn't it crazy that we all grew up like that? That's part of coming of age, right?
Yes.
Kids talk that way. We talk that way. And yet, for some reason, we can't show kids movies like that without these crazy guardrails protecting them. Who are we fooling ultimately? We're fooling ourselves. Other countries, they don't care. They'll show it all because that's what the kids are talking about on the bus anyway.
Right. Right. Talk about train spotting, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Listen, I show my kid the original Bad News Bear. Like, that's what you got to do.
I agree, brother. I agree. The football thing's interesting too. Like you remember All the Right Moves?
Yeah, I was thinking as soon as you said that, it's a great movie.
Tom Cruise? Is that
Yes.
Tom Cruise? Yeah.
And what was his name? Djurkovic? Anyway, it's a high school in Western PA, and it's all about football and these kids, and it's a great coming of it's like Americana. It's the coal mines, football. It's truly Americana.
So I like to take what you say, cuz, and roll with it a little bit. You just hit on two things that I put into the next category. So the next category of Americana I found is our country's reaction to major political events like war. And no greater reaction has ever been captured on film other than the Vietnam War. And our reaction to our troops who were sent there, and then they returned to our country, not to fanfare, but to criticism, depression, PTSD. I mean, we did not handle that one well, right?
Oh boy.
But you just touched on two things, right? You touched on two things. One, we'd mentioned Tom Cruise, All the Right Moves. My favorite movie in that category is Born on the 4th of July.
That's a great movie. That's a great movie.
It's great. Crazy story about this, cuz. So the story of Born on the 4th of July is about Ron Kovic, and Ron Kovic was a Vietnam vet who wrote a book and a story about how he was treated when he came back, and it changed him. He became anti-war because of how he was treated, fighting for all of us. Crazy story. When I lived in California, I lived in Hermosa Beach, and my next door neighbor was Ron Kovic. And Ron Kovic would hang out in this one particular bar all the time, and I got to chat with him a lot. And he knew I was going to law school, and he was giving me a lot of really interesting life advice, but he gave me a lot of insight into how it felt to be he thought he was a returning hero. He lost his leg. Like, he thought he was a returning hero, and he was treated awfully. Tom Cruise did such a good job in that movie playing him. Unbelievable. I mean, I think they really captured the way the country felt in that film. One of Oliver Stone's best films, in my opinion.
I agree. I thought Tom Cruise was awesome. He's actually underrated as an actor, as a movie star, because he never gets because he's a movie star, and he doesn't get respect for his chops. I think he's got chops.
He's one of the greatest of all time. There's no doubt. You can't argue with it. He's got such diversity when you really think about it, from Ferris Bueller to, not Ferris Bueller. What's the
Risky Business?
Risky Business. Yeah. From Risky Business to Rain Man to, it's all over the place. But you also mentioned Western Pennsylvania, And so
I
my
thought you
other
were going.
film, my other
Deer
film in
Hunter?
that category,
Yeah, Deer
is
Hunter. Woof.
Deer Hunter, the Deer Hunter.
The greatest.
That movie, even today, when you watch it, it will just grab you.
It's the greatest movie. It might be the best movie ever made.
It might be the best movie ever made. I mean, the cast, insane. Walken, John Cazale, Meryl Streep, Bobby D, goes on and on. Christopher Walken, on and on and on. And, Michael Cimino, the director, never quite was able to live up to that. His next film is a legendary bomb, Heaven's Gate. But that movie and how Vietnam changed our the people that went there is just it's unmatched. But what's really cool about that movie is the first half of it, which is, I don't know, an hour and a half of it, is all takes place in Western Pennsylvania, and these local people, friends that hang out in a bar, and getting to know them, just getting to know who they are, so that when they return from Vietnam in the second half of the film, you could see how it just devastated everybody.
Yes, it was brilliantly done. It was brilliant. It was amazing. It's still one of the great, like that scene. There's a scene where we're watching Monday Night Football and the Steelers, and it's like you feel it. Like you feel each of these people, and then when they go back to get them, it was deep.
To get
man.
walking. Yeah, and so to me, I don't know. Like,
De Niro was amazing in that movie. I mean, just absolutely incredible.
Walken's
Incredible
best movie.
film.
Walken's best movie, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an amazing film. And you're right, Michael Cimino. What happened to him? How do you make that film and then nothing after that?
They gave him, so much money to make his follow-up film, and it was a bomb, and it was a legendary bomb.
What was it about?
Heaven's Gate. I can't remember the subject matter of it. I just, there was a bunch of years ago that it was the anniversary of the Deer Hunter, and I contacted him because I really wanted to bring him and all the actors back to Pennsylvania to sort of do a retrospective on it. And I was close. In getting a whole bunch of them, but I couldn't put it together ultimately.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It was pretty special, but it didn't pan out. But anyway,
Heaven's Gate's an epic Western film. He's got Christopher Walken, Chris Christopherson, John Hurt, Sam Waterston.
I mean, great cast.
Jeff Bridges. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, great cast.
He did
Mickey Rourke's Year of the Dragon.
That was a good movie. That actually was a very good movie. It was actually it was all about the Chinese mafia in New York. It was really good, actually. Really good. You know what was good too? Desperate Hours was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw that.
I think that's another Rourke. Yeah, Mickey Rourke was in that one. Home Invasion. It was really good.
They remade that a bunch of years ago. I can't remember who was in it, but Kelly Lynch maybe. They remade that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But that's a good, listen, that's an important category of Americana, as dark as it is. And, you hope we learn from it. I'm not so sure, but.
Dude, his arc is crazy. He wins the Academy Award for Best Director in 1979. 1982, he wins Raspberry Award for Worst Director. It's wild.
For what? What was the Razzie? What was
the Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what else is crazy, VG? You know what else is crazy? I know we're going a little bit of a tangent here, but John Cazale. I'm fascinated by this guy to this day.
He died young, and he was in the, 4 greatest movies? The Godfather, Deer Hunter.
Every movie he did, one he did was nominated for Best Picture. Every movie.
Yeah.
Dog Day Afternoon, Godfather, Deer Hunter. He was nominated for every movie. And then he died tragically.
Yeah, he died. Yeah. He was incredible. I mean, the most amazing. He worked with the best directors. I mean, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, just think about what he could have done. I mean, it's so sad, but What an amazing, but anyway, if any of your audience has not watched The Deer Hunter, you have to watch it. You have to watch it.
I love these conversations where you get into some of these important films, like the important films that everybody should watch.
Yeah.
Like like The Deer Hunter everybody should watch that film.
It's true. And a lot of these Americana categories really does cover that. I mean, another Americana category are films that cover historical events and more historical event like All the President's Men, for example.
Yeah.
That's on my list. That's on my list.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So many movies have tried to capture that kind of stuff. But Watergate, I think, is the epitome of journalism. And the film was, just truly spectacular. Great cast, Dustin Hoffman, just amazing. So that's on there. Then here's what I wanted to ask you about. Well, okay, in terms of historical events, I also put like There Will Be Blood, which covers the beginning of the oil, the oil boom, right?
Yes.
Based on a 1920s book called Oil or something like that. But it's an incredibly entertaining Paul Thomas Anderson film, but it's really talking about the boom of oil, which still grips us as a nation today.
Yeah. You're right. It's great. Okay. Great film.
So many of them.
So many, VG. It was so hard. Like, I know you can't hang on this all day, but I'll just rattle off a few more. Like, capturing a moment of time. And boy, I hate to bring up the Knicks, but all the Knicks people were involved in this movie. Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing is really one of the most cultural, just captured. Spike Lee did an amazing job to capture that moment in time and the Cultural Revolution in New York and the racism and coming to grips with racism of all kinds. Just a beautiful movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is my pizzeria.
I was thinking things that would be Fargo, Easy Rider, Deliverance.
Yes.
Deliverance changed my world. As a city guy, I don't go to the woods. I'm out. That was scarier than Friday the 13th to me. I'm out.
VG, I am to this day, my family will tell you, to this day, you put me in the middle of the worst city situation there is, I'm totally comfortable. Sirens, you put me out in the woods with no sound, I'm scared to death.
I'm 1,000% the same. We're brothers in that.
It's another great, when you say Easy Rider, which is the classic Dennis Hopper road trip story right through that time period, the 60s. The other movie that I put in that category, even though it's a little bit later, is one of my favorite David Lynch movies. That's such not a David Lynch movie. The Straight Story.
Yes.
Straight Story about that, that guy who suffers a stroke and he decides to go on the lawnmower trip across Iowa or something like that. What a Harry
true
Dean
story.
Stanton. True story.
Yeah, it's cool.
But again, Americana, that's the
That's
Midwest. Beautiful movie in that category. Here's one I thought about that captures to this day, still resonates, captures our fascination with media and the fact that we will do whatever it takes to get likes, followers, clicks, whatever. Because you probably know what I'm going to say. Natural Born Killers.
Yep.
Oliver Stone's critique on our fascination with doing anything for the media, for video, for likes, clips. You really can't beat it. It really shook people up.
Yeah.
And Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis, Tom Sizemore, Robert Downey.
Yeah.
I mean, just incredible film in that respect.
It really was. My brother, this was awesome. I loved it when we do this stuff. So much fun.
Yeah.
Such a great conversation.
And you know what, cuz during the summer, because summer gets a little light from time to time when new releases, throw categories like this to me. It's a lot of fun.
I will. I'll give you more streamlined stuff. We love you. Have a great weekend, pal.
Thanks, too, buddy. Feel better, cuz.
Thanks, buddy. TV time, a great TV time. The reason why we did Americana was because of the World Cup and the World Cup falling in love with American culture. And of course, Team USA is here today, 3:00 in Seattle. Our good friend Jared Mikolas is there covering it. He's going to give us a little preview of the match. First, a word from our friends.
Hey, you know that feeling when you just need a quick reset, but don't feel like dealing with airports, long drives, or overcomplicated travel plans? That's why Montgomery County, Pennsylvania is such a great getaway spot for Philly area travelers. It's got a little bit of everything. You can do history, you can do shopping, you can do entertainment, some outdoor adventure, great food, all just outside the city. You can spend the day exploring Valley Forge National Historical Park, hit the shops at King of Prussia Mall, check out live entertainment, or explore some of the amazing small towns, hidden gems, all throughout Montgomery County. And with America celebrating 250 years this summer, there's never been a better time to experience the history and stories that help shape this country. So whether it's a couple's trip, family weekend, sports road trip, or just a chance to unplug for a few days, Montgomery County, they make it easy to get away without going far. Plan your trip, book your stay, and start your retreat today at valleyforge.org. Now let's talk about Dick's. Goes from soccer tournaments down to South Philly Sports Complex. The ball games happening right in your own neighborhoods. Summer sports are officially in full swing across Philly. And whether you're getting ready to cheer on your favorite team or getting the kids geared up to hit the field, Dick's Sporting Goods is your one-stop shop for everything you need this season. Whether we're talking jerseys, fan gears, or rep your teams, and they got all the equipment you'll need: gloves, cleats, bats, balls, everything you need for whatever sport you're playing this summer. And it's super easy too. Just stop by one of your local Dick's Sporting Goods stores anywhere around the Philly area. They are everywhere, thankfully, or you can shop anytime at Dicks.com. This Saturday, June 20th, U.S. men's team legend Tony Meola will be signing autographs from 3 to 4:30 at the Dick's Sporting Goods store in Deptford Mall. So before the next game, whether you're heading to the stadium or just out back with some friends, make your first stop Dick's Sporting Goods, because summer sports start at Dick's.
Love it. All right. We have a huge match today coming up this afternoon. Live on the scene, our man Jared Mikolas is there. Jared.
Anthony, how we doing?
All right.
How about this?
Awesome.
Huh?
Oh,
nice.
Wow. That is so cool. Wow. Tell us, man, give us that. I mean, it looks incredible, buddy. Oh,
It's great. It's great. Here in Pioneer Square, right outside the stadium. It's a short walk, about 5-minute walk from here down to what we're calling Seattle Stadium right now, where Seahawks and the Sounders play, and it's electric. I mean, the game's at noon. It's 8:45 Pacific time. There have been people here waiting in line to get into this outdoor cafe, beer cafe, to watch the game on the screen for over an hour.
Wow. Well, they have a huge video wall kind of screen.
Got a huge screen right there.
Look at that.
Oh, cool.
That is awesome.
So you got people in jerseys. Fans are out here watching games all week. It's not just the U.S. game. So I've been posted up here since Monday when Belgium played Egypt. Over 7,000 people at that game, and just connecting with people and talking about, where people see U.S.'s hopes and futures. And this is a big game against Australia. Chance for either team to get 6 points and really take control of the group.
So can you break it down for us? What do you think? How do you think this is going to play out? And I guess go ahead. I guess Pulisic probably won't play. Is that right?
They're gonna hold that decision up till the last minute. We'll know about an hour before kickoff whether he's gonna play or not. He's trained all week. The guys in the team, from the reports that come back from camp, keep saying he's fine. I think at this point it's a question about, is it a calf strain you can potentially injure more, or is it just treating the day-to-day and can you play through it? You've got a week between games, so you've got time to recover like you did for this one. At the same time, our guy Brendan Aronson from Philly had a quote yesterday. It said this is deepest that the U.S. team has ever looked. So I think there's easy changes for that, and everyone's so caught up on that might actually help take some of the pressure off for everyone else because it's on Pulisic's shoulder. But there's 4 capable replacements for Pulisic in this role, and I think the most important thing from what we saw in a dominating win to open the tournament against Paraguay is that the team can keep as much the same as possible. So if we can insert a player, whoever that player is, we can debate over that and talk about the options. The reality is the rest of the team was so well organized that we were in control of that game. and you want to score the first goal in these games. So if we can score the first goal, Australia can't sit in this low medium block, this defensive kind of mindset that they have, and that'll change the game. So I think we're going to go for it again. As I said the last time we were on the show, I think this is an attack-minded team with confidence. So insert whoever we want in there, and just keep the system, keep the team the same.
Wow, I love that, man. I love going to. You called it too. You said it. You're a great man. You broke this thing down, and you said that USA would come out in attack mode, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yep. And I think it's a team. To do that, you need to believe in yourselves. And Pochettino has talked to these guys, right? You keep hearing these quotes about belief, hard work, compete, right? That's his cycle right now. Belief, work, compete. And if you can do that, and you've got players that actually know that you believe in them, you can go out and attack more. You have to have the quality to do it. But I mean, we've got a guy like Balogun. I mean, he's scoring 2 goals in the first game. He could have scored 3. Still could have a couple other guys. And Tillman was outstanding in midfield. So this team gets a lot more dynamic when you've got these really athletic guys who can cover ground box to box, and we're winning the ball back so quickly because the mindset is that we can do it.
So Australia, you said that they'll want to come out and try to play defensive. How good are they? Are they, how would you kind of compare with USA?
Yeah, when you came into the group, when you looked at the 4 teams, they were the weakest on paper. Now, you play games because anybody can win in this sport, and they showed they could do that. They had 28% of the possessions. So 72% of the ball was with Turkey. They had 30-some shots. They just defended really well, and their goalkeeper had a great day, made 8 saves, and they were good enough to win on the day. But I don't see them opening up, because an early goal means they've got to chase the game. They can score 1. Iraconda, the wingers, is where they got their goals in the first game. So they can do it, but I don't think that's their style. They'd much rather be sitting at halftime trying to figure out cat and mouse game of how are we approaching it, and then see if they can steal 1 late. So I expect they're going to have to play that way to start. They're not as deep, near as deep as we are. But, you can't dismiss them. They've got 3 points. They win the game tonight. They win the group. So a lot of people are naysayers, but listen, you come to the World Cup and they're competing, and they've got a good fan base. They had a bunch of fans in Vancouver for their first game, and that's a short trip down here. So I expect, it's going to be heavy USA crowd, but outside and around, they've got some supporters.
It's like two clash of 2 different styles, right? USA's high pressure. They're more of a counterattack squad. So they met in October. I think USA won 2-1 in October. So, I mean, I don't know what to expect today. Can you hear me? No. Can you hear you, Ant?
You got me?
I got you. I lost it for a minute.
So, Jared, the VG was asking about the idea of the clash of styles. And I guess USA beat Australia 2-1 last year, right? So, so from that perspective, I mean, you got to feel better. You got to feel good.
Yeah, you got to feel good. And it's a different group. We went through so many rotations of players. It's hard when every time you roll out and face the next opponent, you're rolling out a new squad of 11. So back to the earlier point, if you can keep consistency here, this is not a gimme. And I think that 2-1 result probably looks a lot different than the team we roll out today. Looks a lot more similar to Friday. But Australia's they're a younger group. Half their team plays in England, half their team plays home in New Zealand. So this is the stage where they can kind of break out. They do have some athleticism. They're very good defensively. So the reason they play defensively is because that's where their strength is, and the center backs and the goalkeeper. So I think they'll try to maybe get a little more of the ball so they don't have to chase it as much. But it's clear that I think we're gonna be organized and we're gonna be on the ball, and that we're going to take it from the first whistle.
Man, you're great at breaking this down, Jared. You're awesome at this. Now, what's your plan? Will you stay in Seattle through what's your schedule looking like?
Yeah, my schedule. I'll stay here midweek next week. There's another game that I'll catch: Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Qatar. That'll be an interesting one to close out the group. But I'm back in LA for our 3rd match. And then if we win that group, the way this turns out, if you win 1B, the next game, first playoff game, is July 1st in San Francisco. So I'll be there for that match. Hopefully USA's 1D. And we'll play a third place team. Too early to know which team we'll play yet. If we finish second in the group, then next game is in Atlanta. So we'll have to see. But we're hoping this team stays on the West Coast. The beauty of the way the schedule sets up is that if you win, they keep you on the West Coast time zone. So the two stadiums we'd play is SoFi, Seattle, three stadiums, and Levi in San Francisco. Yeah. So those would be our three. We'd keep home base in LA, which these guys are, certainly liking that near the beach where they're at, and makes travel a little bit easier when you just go for game day.
That's awesome, man. That's great. What time will you head over to the stadium?
It's tight getting in there. There's one entrance. FIFA likes to control it just so that everything's going in. So the game, it takes about 25 minutes to get in for that first game. So probably 90 minutes before gives you a chance to see the teams warm up, usually about 55 before. And then they'll go back in the locker room at 15, get prepped, walk back out. So yeah, head over there in about an hour, get another coffee, maybe get some more fans to take in there with us.
You're great, man. You're awesome. Really, man. This is great stuff. We're going to bug you next week if you don't mind, because you are so good at this.
Sounds good. Let's see if we can get a win, and then we'll recap that, talk about what it looked like, see if we had it right. I think we might get to see a Philly boy and Brendan Aronson as a potential replacement today. So if Pulisic doesn't play, which I hope he does, I'm hoping Aronson fills in that slot. Maybe him, maybe Weah, maybe Zendejas, but let's see.
What do you got? 2-1 USA, 2-0 USA?
Yeah, 2-0 USA.
Love it. Love it. Yes. Thanks, Jared. You're the best, man. You really are. You're awesome.
Yeah, happy to help. Have a great week. Hope you feel a little better, and happy Father's Day.
Thank you, brother. Happy Father's Day, man. God bless you, brother. You're the man. He's terrific. He really is great at this.
He's good, man. Yeah.
He
knows his stuff.
He does. He's great. We're going to take a quick TO. Come back, wrap it up. I guess we got Fit Dad coming on.
Fit Dad's popping on. You want to talk a little World Cup for a second, he said.
I know. Yeah, we love the Fit Dad. Talk about our friends first.
Let's talk about Rothman. Because Rothman, when I was in a bad way with a bad neck, they helped me out, saved my life. So they do other things just like everyday aches and pains, chronic pain. You pick up a brand new injury, you don't tough it out. Get it looked at by the experts at Rothman Orthopedics. These are the same specialists. They're trusted across the region to treat everything from joint pain and back issues to sports injuries, fractures. And whether it's something that's lingered for months or something that happened this week, they got you covered. The easiest way to get started, well, just visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY and schedule your appointment today. With the Rothman Fast Scheduler, you can connect with their VIP scheduling specialists for your specific issue, saving time and getting you on the right path to a quicker, faster recovery. And don't forget about Rothman Now, a convenient way to access expert virtual orthopedic care when you need answers promptly. They give you guidance, and that same guidance from the same trusted team that's working on everybody across the area. So stop living with pain. Go to rothmanortho.com/PHLY and book with Rothman Orthopedics today. Get rid of that pain.
Wawa's got tacos. Tacos. Oh, Wawa expanding its freshly prepared food lineup with new seasoned beef tacos available for a limited time. Built to deliver bold, craveable flavor in every bite. We're talking warm, soft tortillas filled with Wawa's savory, juicy, boldly seasoned beef, plus fresh toppings that you can customize your way. You got options too, from seasoned beef, chicken, steak, black beans, shredded cheddar cheese. Pick up 2 spreads like salsa roja, garlic aioli, barbecue, ranch, buffalo, chipotle, and you top it off with shredded lettuce, salsa, fire-roasted corn, onions, or pickled jalapenos, all packed in a 6-inch soft flour tortilla, making it perfect handheld or on-the-go option. Seasoned beef tacos doesn't stop, all right? It's available across the full lineup, including burritos, bowls, and quesadillas, so you can mix and match and build the meal that fits your appetite. But don't wait. The lineup is only here for a limited time while supplies last. Next time you're at Wawa, grab a taco and find your new go-to order.
Happy Father's Day, Fit Dad. Happy Father's Day.
You hear none of us?
You can't
I can hear
us.
you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear Cuz.
Happy Father's Day.
Weird how this works.
I read that. Happy Father's Day.
Why am I not on?
It's weird, man. That happened to me the last guest. It's like one of us drops out.
Yeah. It happened right before I came on here. I can't hear Cuz, but I can hear you.
All right, let me drop back.
Are you enjoying the World Cup, Fit Dad?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's gonna be tough following up that last guest with all his knowledge of soccer. I'm coming on here and I'm like
John
soccer
Madden.
fun.
Kick the ball.
No, it's.
Have you been around town to see like the people coming in and feeling the energy?
So I was supposed to go to the Ecuador Ivory Coast game last Sunday and it didn't work out. But I'm gonna see if I can try and get to one of the games that are coming up, I think next week. And I haven't been around town yet, but we're gonna try and get there. It's just traffic has been crazy down there whenever there's a game. So we've been trying to avoid it, but I've been enjoying watching the games just around the country. And I think there was one in Guadalajara last night that I watched really late.
Mexico.
And yeah, because I still can't hear you.
Weird.
That's bizarre.
I know. Yeah, I literally
bizarre.
It was working totally fine until the very end of the last guest, but that's okay. I'm gonna try and read your lips. It's all good.
Today show.
I'll interpret. This is like interviewing Jose Alvarado. I'll interpret.
Tell him
perfect.
Congratulations on the Today Show.
Thank you very much. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. And I got out of New York right before the parade, so it was perfect timing.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be stuck in that. All those roaches up there.
Oh my goodness.
I saw these guys from Scott. They were part of the Tartan Army. They came down from Boston. They visited New York. And the reporter's like, "Hey, what do you think of New York?" And the guy's like, "We like Boston better." I love it. Right on cue.
Yeah, it was Knicks jerseys everywhere. It was insane. But again, congrats to them. Knicks did their thing, so I'm not gonna hate too much. But yeah, dude, I'm loving the World Cup. I'm actually gonna try and get to one of the games in East Rutherford as well. But I know I just missed I think it was the Brazil game that they played here on Tuesday. And I know that they said that was wild. So I'm gonna have to try and get to one of
Ecuador. The Ecuadorians were crazy. Brazil's tonight.
Brazil's tonight.
That's what it was. That's right. Yeah.
And you got to check
Brazil's
out
tonight.
The family. That thing's unbelievable. It's expansive. There's so much stuff to do. You got to stop.
That's I got a
selling your book there
from I guess the city of Philadelphia, and they kind of was just telling me about all the different events that are around. So we're gonna try and make it out to some of them either this weekend or some point next week. With summer break, it's a little bit easier. So, but I like the United States odds tonight, and I actually agree with the last guest. I thought it was going to be. He said 2-0. I think it's 2-1. Just because I think it's going to be a little bit closer than the last game. They were really on their grind in that last game, and they wanted to make a statement. And I think it's going to be a little bit. I think they might come in a little bit tight. I'm not sure. And I think it'll be a 2-1 victory walking out of there.
Love it.
Like Cuts says you should bring your book to FanFest, set up a stand, and start selling some books.
Well, I just heard Sealski saying he should have, put a QR code on Rocky, and I'm like, that's a genius idea. I should have found somewhere to throw a QR code on with all these guests coming in.
Yeah. So what's the latest with your book?
Ask him for Father's Day.
It's going really well. After we did the Today Show on Wednesday, we got a huge spike in sales. It was probably the best 24 to 48 hours that we've had.
Nice.
And it helps with going into Father's Day, but it's been a lot of fun promoting it. We did a full 24 hours of just straight press, and this has kind of been my big week to promote the book. But we had a lot of people have it in their hands. A lot of people ordered it, so I'm excited to see some tags and some people mentioning me in their posts on Father's Day when that happens.
I love it.
Right here, buddy.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
That's it, buddy. We love it.
Yeah, it's
Very
fun.
good.
It's fun promoting it because you don't know what's going to work and you know what's not going to work. So I've been doing everything. So just in case there's dad joke book number 2, I kind of know a little bit more going into the next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Congratulations, man. Nothing but
Appreciate
success.
it.
Everybody buy the book.
Yeah, you can still grab it now. I know it's available on Amazon. They keep selling out and they have to restock, which is not a bad problem to have. So if you catch them at a good time, you might be able to grab one that'll be delivered tomorrow before Father's Day. So you can go and check the listing on there, and it'll have all the information on there.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, thanks for joining us. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, guys.
There he is, Fit Dad.
Fit Dad.
Get
to bed, dude. Go to bed.
Can you not hear me?
I hear you. Can you not hear me?
So wait, you can't hear me either?
I hear you.
Oh, I can't hear you. All of a sudden, what happened? All holy hell broke loose at the end of the show.
What's going
Dad
on?
can't
I
hear
hear
me, but you can't. I can't hear you now. It's bizarre. Anyway, I'm going to bed. I feel like rubbish.
Do it. Hope you feel better.
Have a great weekend, brothers. All right. Bye, chat. Jules rules. Love you guys.
Julia.
See you Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.